Chapter 1833. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Liang Jinxiao agreed. If she didn't tell Zhao Yun'er could ask someone else later. Liang Jinxiao was afraid that when Zhao Yun'er asked, the person who told Zhao Yun'er would say something unpleasant. After Zhao Yun'er knew, she was afraid that Zhao Yun'er's heart would be even more uncomfortable. After thinking for a while, Liang Jinxiao decided to tell Zhao Yun'er the truth. Sighing slightly, Liang Jinxiao seemed to be recalling something from a long time ago. Ai Yun'er, this Xuanhuan actually had a marriage contract with you. If you didn't have that incident and didn't give birth to Daodu, I reckon you would have already married Xuanhuan and become his wife. Zhao Yun'er had imagined many possibilities in her heart, but she really didn't expect that she and Xuanhuan were in such a relationship. That was to say, Xuanhuan was actually her fiancé before? Since he was such an important person, why couldn't she remember anything about Xuanhuan? The more Zhao Yun'er thought about it, the more confused she became. She continued to ask Liang Jinxiao, "Mom, what's going on? Why can't I remember this person?" Liang Jinxiao continued to sigh. He looked at Zhao Yun'er with a distressed expression and said, "Well, it's all because of the Tian family. After you caused that incident, the Tian family said that you were indecent and didn't know how to behave yourself. The arranged marriage was directly ruined. Xuanhuan didn't say anything about it. However, he's a scholar and is filial to his parents. Since his parents broke off the arranged marriage, he didn't dare to disobey. After that, you stopped contacting each other." After Liang Jinxiao's explanation, Zhao Yun'er finally understood. A few years ago, the original owner of the body was originally engaged to Xuanhuan. However, the original owner of the body got pregnant before marriage. After such a big incident, no man in modern times would easily accept her, let alone the ancient people. Later, the Tian family broke off the arranged marriage and Xuanhuan and Zhao Yun'er stopped contacting each other. Zhao Yun'er guessed that the original owner of the body liked Xuanhuan very much. According to Liang Jinxiao, the original owner of the body cried all day long when the arranged marriage was broken off. In addition, she was malnourished and the child in her belly almost died. Then suddenly one day the original owner of the body inexplicably recovered, but she didn't seem to remember Xuanhuan at all. Zhao Yun'er guessed that the original owner of the body was extremely sad, and finally chose to lose her memory. She deleted all the memories about Xuanhuan from her mind. After hearing this, Zhao Yun'er couldn't calm down. Wasn't it too ridiculous? For such a long time, no one mentioned this in front of her. Old Zhao's family probably felt that it was too embarrassing, so they didn't talk about it. When others criticized her, they only knew how to use her premarital pregnancy as an excuse. After Liang Jinxiao finished speaking, he observed Zhao Yun'er's reaction. She was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would know the situation and think of what had happened before. The painful days in the past were over. There was no need to think about it. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er was lost in thought but didn't look sad, Liang Jinxiao breathed a sigh of relief. "Yun'er, it's probably like this. No matter what, you and that child Xuanhuan don't have anything to do with each other anymore. Don't be sad over other people's matters," Liang Jinxiao softly said. Chapter 1834. Liang Jinxiao's worries were swept away by Zhao Yun'er's words. He couldn't help but smile and agree. Yes, no matter how good Xuanhuan is, he can't be better than Prince Shixi. After all, Prince Shixi's status is beyond the reach of ordinary people. After you marry Prince Shixi, you'll be the official wife of Prince Shixi. It's better than being a peasant woman in the countryside. Daodu is Prince Shixi's biological son, and Prince Shixi loves him very much. If the Tian family had accepted you back then, Daodu wouldn't be a descendant of the Tian family. Those people wouldn't treat him as their own. Liang Jinxiao was very clear that an outsider's child wouldn't be welcomed. Zhao Yun'er was secretly happy that Xuanhuan didn't marry her back then. Although she had just met Xuanhuan's character was quite good. He also had the temperament of a scholar. According to Xuanhuan's appearance and qualifications, there weren't many men better than Xuanhuan in the surrounding villages. However, Zhao Yun'er was very clear that just because she thought he was good, it didn't mean that she liked him. If she lived with someone she didn't love for the rest of her life, it would be a torture for her. On the contrary, if she lived with Mu Lianfeng, she was glad that she could meet the person she loved in this life. "Mother, you're right. Don't worry, I'm just asking out of curiosity today. I won't think too much. In the future, I'll live a good life with Prince Shixi." Zhao Yun'er gave Liang Jinxiao a reassurance. "Haha, good," Liang Jinxiao said with a smile. The mother and daughter cooked together. Because it was all leftovers, they poured it into the pot and heated it up in a short time. The wood was hot, and the aroma of rice came out of the pot in about 20 minutes. Xiaoyun was a little hungry after smelling the aroma. By the time lunch was ready, xuanhuan had already returned from working in the fields. During this period of time, xuanhuan was busy pumping water and weeding the paddy fields. If the grass in the paddy field was not removed in time, it would compete for nutrients with the rice grains, affecting the growth of the rice grains. It was also easy for insects to grow. As a result, xuanhuan was covered in mud from head to toe. Even his face was covered in mud. He was filthy. Xiaoyun hurriedly fetched a basin of clean water and let xuanhuan wipe her upper body first so that she could eat. As for the lower part of the body, he didn't wash it. He still had to go out in the afternoon to continue his work. Come, let's eat. Liang Jinxiao placed the dishes on the table and invited the family to eat. This time Mu Lianfeng brought Mo Yen back to eat with him. Probably because the food on the mountain was too bad, Mo Yen ate very happily. She gobbled up 5 or 6 bowls of rice in one go and ate quite a lot of vegetables. Her stomach was surprisingly big. Xiaoyun did not feel bad about her family's food. Instead, she hoped that Mo Yen could eat more. The leftovers would not go bad in the simple fridge, but it was not good to leave them for too long. It was best to eat less leftovers from last night. In the 21st century, many people would throw them away if they could not finish them. In ancient times, many people did not have enough to eat. How could they be willing to throw them away? Mu Lianfeng saw Xiaoyun staring at Mo Yen. He thought that Xiaoyun disliked Mo Yen for eating too much, so he snorted gently and hinted at Mo Yen. Mo Yen ate happily and did not hear Mu Lianfeng's hint. Mu Lianfeng saw that Mo Yen did not realize it and could not help but ask, Mo Yen, have you not eaten for a few days? Why did you eat so much? Chapter 1835. Thinking about it, he really hadn't eaten well today. It was a hot day, so he didn't have much of an appetite to begin with. The food on the mountain was also cooked in a big pot, so it was really hard for Mo Yen to swallow. Now that he had gone to Xiaoyun's home and eaten the food from Xiaoyun's home, it was simply delicacies. It couldn't compare at all. After starving for a few days, he finally got to eat delicious food, so he couldn't help but eat a little more. The strange thing was that he knew he had eaten a lot, but he just didn't feel full. He wanted to continue stuffing food into his stomach. Looking at Mo Yan's innocent face, Mu Lianfeng took a deep breath. He hesitated whether to say what he wanted to say next. If he didn't say it, he felt that Mo Yen was still too ignorant. Mu Lianfeng was worried that Xiaoyun didn't cook enough for lunch. If Mo Yen ate so much, there wouldn't be enough for the others. However, Xiaoyun was also shy. She would definitely be too shy to say that to Mo Yen. After hesitating for a while, Mu Lianfeng decided to remind Mo Yen that she had come at the right time. He couldn't let Yun'er and his father-in-law's family starve. You've already eaten enough. Mu Lianfeng said leisurely. Mo Yen put down her hands in the bowl in a rather restless manner. She replied weakly, Really? What do you think? It seems like I've eaten a lot. Mo Yen felt a little guilty. She replied embarrassedly, Yun'er's food is just too delicious, so. Mu Lianfeng replied unhappily, You don't seem like it. You've eaten a lot. How can your stomach hold up so much food? After Mu Lianfeng scolded her, Mo Yen still felt wronged. Master, look, I've lost a few kilograms recently. I need to eat properly to make up for it. I don't object to you eating, but you came to Yun'er's house today and ate so much food. She worked hard to grow some food in the fields, but you really don't know how to control yourself and eat so much. Mu Lianfeng was saying that Mo Yen was too thick-skinned. As the master, he was embarrassed to eat so much, but at least he should see if the others had enough food first. He couldn't just eat comfortably. Mo Yen was embarrassed by Mu Lianfeng's words. She hurriedly said, Master, with it's my duty. When Zhao Yunlong heard this, he quickly waved his hand and said, Young master, don't be too polite. It's just a few meals. It's okay to eat more. How can I trouble you with the work in the field? Mo Yen insisted, Uncle, it's fine. You can order me around. I like being ordered around. Mu Lianfeng said leisurely, I'm just complaining that you can't do the work in the fields. You've never worked before. How much work can you do in the fields? Mo Yen scratched her head as if she was thinking. She nodded and said, Master, you're right. Since I can't do the work in the fields, why don't I just pay Yun'er for her food? Mu Lianfeng nodded, That's a good idea. You can use the money you pay to buy more food. Yun'er's family's food is not bad, so you can't pay too little for food. Mo Yen nodded heavily and said, Master, I know. I definitely won't pay too little. Chapter 1836. Zhao Yun watched silently from the side. She couldn't help but sympathize with Mo Yen for having such a master. Mo Yen was sparing no effort to set her up. Of course, Mu Lianfeng's motive was to collect more money for her. No one knew his wife better than her husband. Mu Lianfeng knew that she loved money very much. Zhao Yun'er didn't think that being greedy for money was a shameful thing. With money one could do a lot of things. At least now, her family could live in a big house, and she didn't have to worry about food and clothing. She didn't have to live a tight life like before. Her life was very poor. Mo Yen searched for a while and took out one tael of silver. Although it's not much, it should be enough for food. Mo Yen smiled embarrassedly and handed it to Zhao Yun'er. Mo Yen hurriedly explained as if she was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would think it was too little. "Master, I don't have much money. I have to save some for when I get married." Zhao Yun'er was amused by Mo Yen. She smiled and said to Mo Yen, "You don't have to pay attention to your master. It's just a few meals. I can still provide them." Mo Yen asked in surprise and joy, "Really, Miss Yun'er? I don't want to eat and drink for free." "Of course. If you're hungry you can eat more if you're not full. There's still a lot of rice in the pot." With Zhao Yun'er's words, Mo Yen couldn't resist the temptation of delicious food although she was embarrassed. After hesitating for a while, she began to eat happily. Seeing Mo Yen wolfing down the food, Zhao Yun'er smiled faintly. The next few days were trivial. She had already arranged for people to dig the well in the courtyard. The only thing that Zhao Yun'er was worried about was Tian. She and Mu Lianfeng would walk around the mountain from time to time whenever they had time. They wanted to check on Tian. In the end she was still worried. Something happened to Tian, she would feel bad. After searching for a few more days, one morning, Zhao Yun'er suddenly heard a baby crying. Zhao Yun'er, who was still in her dream, suddenly came back to her senses. She immediately got up from the bed and walked towards the door. As soon as he opened the door, he saw a child lying at the door. It was Tian, who had been taken away by a tiger for a few days. She was still worried that she wouldn't be able to save Tian. She didn't expect Tian to come back on her own. The child wouldn't have walked back by himself. Zhao Yun'er speculated that the white tiger couple might have taken the initiative to send him back. Could it be that Tian was too noisy, and the white tiger couple couldn't bear to see her, so they secretly sent her back? If that was the case, it seemed that animals were quite affectionate. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head and looked at the baby. It was crying very pitifully, and a trace of heartache flashed across her mind. This child had a hard life after all. She was abandoned as soon as she was born, and now she had experienced such a torment. It was lucky that she could survive. Zhao Yun'er hurriedly picked up the baby on the ground and coaxed Tian. All right, don't cry. Aren't you back now?" The baby was very sensible and immediately stopped making a fuss. There were tears in her eyes, but she smiled sweetly at Zhao Yun'er. It seemed that the girl was also very happy. Zhao Yun'er's heart softened. Seeing that the baby's clothes were dirty and still had the smell of the tiger, she prepared to boil some hot water to wash the baby well. With this daughter around, she was afraid that something would happen to her, so she didn't let her touch any of the work. Although she was pregnant, she wasn't that fragile. How could a woman from the countryside be so delicate? When she was pregnant, she had to work in the fields when she was 7 or 8 months old, but she didn't see anything happen to the child. Zhao Yun'er held the bowl in her hands and disappeared from the courtyard in a short while. Soon she arrived at old Zhao's house. However, from far away she heard the noise coming from old Zhao's house. Zhao Yun'er frowned. The family was so troublesome. Fortunately, her parents had moved out early. Otherwise they would be annoyed to death by these people all day long. Chapter 1839. This xuanhuan was really troublesome. If she didn't make a fuss for a day, she probably wouldn't feel at ease. Zhao Yun'er was glad that she didn't meet such a mother-in-law. Being Xuanhuan's daughter-in-law was really tiring. Thinking about how her mother was bullied miserably by this old woman, it was good that she was finally free now. Zhao Yun'er walked closer to old Zhao's house and heard what Xuanhuan was scolding. It turned out that this old woman was scolding her own son, Zhao Wenshui. If she was scolding someone else, Zhao Yun'er might sympathize with her, but when she was scolding Zhao Wenshui, Zhao Yun'er felt that she deserved it. Zhao Wenshui was lazy by nature. He didn't look like a man at all. Xuanhuan could only hear her scolding Zhao Wenshui, "You bastard, why did I give birth to you? Look at who else in the family is like you. You're already an adult, yet you still do such sneaky things. Don't you know how to be ashamed? Old Zhao's family is really unlucky to have a son like you. I really raised you for nothing. You still want to anger me to death even when you're old. If this spreads out, how can I face the villagers? Zhao Yun'er walked into old Zhao's house and found that the other families had all come out and surrounded xuanhuan. They seemed to be trying to persuade xuanhuan. However, xuanhuan didn't listen to them at all. She was still scolding Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui stood in front of xuanhuan, trembling with fear. He lowered his head and looked a little scared. Second brother, why are you still in a daze? Quickly apologize to mother. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly urged Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui walked up to xuanhuan and said weakly, Mom? I'm sorry. It's my fault. I promise I won't do it again. Xuanhuan snorted and said, I would rather believe the nonsense of a ghost than believe your words. You can't change a dog's habit. If there is a first time, there will be a next time. Mother. I've already apologized. How can you say that to me? Zhao Wenshui grumbled unhappily. After all, he was Xuanhuan's biological son. How could she not let her own son go? Xuanhuan was furious. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui dared to talk back to her, she picked up the broom on the ground and hit Zhao Wenshui. You bastard, you still dare to talk back. Do you think it's okay to apologize? You're already an adult, yet you still learn to be sneaky. How can I not teach you a lesson? The broom fell on Zhao Wenshui's body and made a loud sound. Zhao Wenshui was in pain from the beating and couldn't help but yell, Mother, what are you doing? It hurts so much. How can you be so cruel? As xuanhuan hit him, spittle flew out of her mouth. You deserve to die from the pain. I should teach you a lesson. Otherwise you will do it again. Zhao Wenshui's arm was hit and there were horizontal lines. It was obvious that xuanhuan didn't hold back. While Zhao Wenshui was beaten, Zhao Yun'er watched with great interest. Some people needed to be taught a lesson. Zhao Wenshui was thick-skinned and should be scratched whenever there was a chance. The other members of old Zhao's family were still trying to persuade him. Zhao Wentao took a step forward and pulled xuanhuan, saying, Mother, second brother has had enough. Let's forget it. This time, second brother will definitely remember. Chapter 1840. Xuanhuan glared at Zhao Wenshui. If he dares to do that again, I'll chop off his hands. Let's see if he still wants to live. Zhao Wenshui was so frightened by xuanhuan that he trembled and pursed his lips with an aggrieved expression. He was clearly a man, but he was behaving like a woman. Zhao Yun'er was almost disgusted by her second uncle. Zhao Yun'er walked over to jianghu and asked, Fourth aunt, what exactly happened? Why is grandma so angry at second uncle? Xuanhuan's sharp ears heard Zhao Yun'er's question. She spat on the ground and continued to scold, It's all because of this good-for-nothing who did shameful things. Zhao Yun'er was dumbfounded. Didn't Xuanhuan's words mean nothing? When jianghu saw Zhao Yun'er's puzzled expression, she patiently explained what happened today to Zhao Yun'er. It turned out that xuanhuan wanted to nourish Zhao Xinhui's body and improve his diet. After all, there was nothing good to eat at home, so she caught a hen from the chicken coop and specially made soup for Zhao Xinhui. While the soup was still simmering in the pot, xuanhuan ran to wash the clothes. Zhao Wenshui probably smelled the fragrance of the chicken soup and couldn't control himself, so he secretly went to the kitchen to make a few bowls of chicken soup to drink. There was less soup in the pot. Zhao Wenshui was afraid that he would be discovered, so he forgot to add a few bowls of water to the pot. If he continued to simmer the soup like this, no one would notice. Who knew that xuanhuan would suddenly come back when he was adding water? She had forgotten to bring locust to wash the clothes, so xuanhuan came back to get it. As a result, she encountered this scene. Xuanhuan flew into a rage on the spot. She pointed at Zhao Wenshui's nose and scolded him. What followed was what Zhao Yun'er saw. After hearing this, Zhao Yun'er secretly sighed in her heart. What a weirdo. Zhao Wenshui was a man in his 40s. It was rare to see someone like him eating and stealing at such an age. Of course, xuanhuan was not a good person either. Other people loved their sons, but she cared for her daughter. No one knew what she was thinking. It was better in the past, but now they couldn't wait to worship Zhao Xinhui as their ancestor. Chicken soup was very precious to the villagers. Zhao Wenshui was beaten so badly after drinking a few bowls of it. However, xuanhuan was not reluctant to give it to Zhao Xinhui. Grandmother's second uncle stole a few bowls and drank it. This punishment is too severe. Second uncle only drank some soup. He didn't touch the chicken at all. Why did you give it to little aunt? Zhao Yun'er said lightly. It seemed that she was speaking for Zhao Wenshui, but in fact she was speaking for the other members of old Zhao's family. Xuanhuan was obviously too biased. She left a big pot of chicken soup and chicken for Zhao Xinhui alone. Her son was scolded badly for drinking chicken soup. How could there be such a mother? When the other families heard Zhao Yuner's words, how could they not understand? Their hearts turned cold. In fact, when they smelled the fragrance of the chicken soup, how could they not want to drink it? Now, looking at Xuanhuan's attitude, it was obvious that if they were touched by the chicken soup, xuanhuan would fight with them. They had no choice. They couldn't have the idea of drinking chicken soup. However, they still felt unbalanced. Thinking about Zhao Xinhui, who was also Xuanhuan's child, they couldn't be too biased, right? Chapter 1841. When Zhao Wenxue said this, he secretly glanced at Xuanhuan. After seeing that Xuanhuan didn't react much, he continued to mutter, "Mother, didn't I just drink a few bowls of chicken soup? That big pot of chicken soup and chicken meat, how can little sister drink it all alone? You're really biased. You only care about little sister and don't think about our other sons." Zhao Wenshui's words touched Zhao Wenshu and Zhao Wentao's hearts. However, they didn't dare to say this to Xuanhuan. Now that they heard Zhao Wenshui say it directly, they nervously observed Xuanhua's reaction. They wanted to hear what Xuanhua had to say. Originally, they thought that Xuanhua would find her conscience and realize that she was too biased. Who knew that Xuanhua would start scolding Zhao Wenshui again? As she scolded, she spat on Zhao Wenshui's face. "You're the most shameless among us brothers. Your skin is as thick as pig's skin. What do you mean by biased toward your little sister? Look at you. How can you compare with your little sister? She's now the mistress of a rich family. Your father and mother can live a good life now because of your little sister. Otherwise, you would have been starving." Xuanhua was telling the truth. Without Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Baoshan and Xuanhua wouldn't be able to live a rich life like now. However, she couldn't belittle the other branches like this. She spoke as if they were useless, which made them feel very uncomfortable. Zhao Wenshui was so scared that he quickly shut his mouth. Although he felt wronged, he didn't dare to continue speaking. He was afraid that Xuanhua would pick up the broom and continue to hit him. After scolding for a while, Xuanhua felt thirsty and turned to enter the room. After the other branches saw that nothing was wrong, they went back to their own business. However, the rich aroma of the chicken soup coming from the kitchen still made them swallow their saliva. Zhao Wenshui returned to his room resentfully. He felt that he had lost face. He was already an adult, but he was still scolded by Xuanhua in front of his children. "Yuner, why are you here?" Qianzhua asked Zhao Yuner with a smile. Zhao Yuner then handed the bowl to Qianzhua. "It's nothing, fourth aunt. I'm here to return these bowls for you." Qianzhua laughed, took it and brought it back to the kitchen. Now that old Zhao's family had split up, each branch built their own kitchen and cooked separately. As long as they were full, it was enough. Although the kitchen was simple, it was enough to make do with cooking. Zhao Yuner thought about how old Zhao's family would cause all kinds of strange things when they lived together. Qianzhua said, "Fourth aunt, why don't you and fourth uncle build a new house and move out?" Qianzhua was slightly stunned when she heard this. Then she shook her head and said, "Building a house is not easy. It costs a lot of money." Chapter 1842. Zhao Yuner knew that Qianzhua didn't want to trouble her and didn't want to borrow money from her, so she was delaying it. Zhao Yuner was very clear about Qianzhua and Zhao Wentao's personalities. They wouldn't change their minds if they insisted on it. Thinking about it, instead of directly borrowing money, why not lead them to become rich and earn money herself? When the time came, she would have a greater sense of accomplishment when she used the money she earned to build a house. Thus, she didn't continue to persuade Qianzhua. Zhao Yuner's words just so happened to fall into Feng Xianxia's ears. Feng Xianxia eagerly scooted over to Zhao Yuner and smiled fawningly at Zhao Yuner. "Yuner lass, you said that you don't lack money now, and you even have money to lend to your fourth uncle and fourth aunt to build a house. Can you lend me some too?" Zhao Yuner frowned and didn't say anything. She didn't know what this Feng Xianxia was scheming again. Why was she always having ideas about other people? She couldn't change her habit of taking advantage of others. Zhao Yuner didn't say anything. Feng Xianxia was a little embarrassed, but she still thickened her skin and continued, "Yuner lass, isn't your second cousin brother about to get married? When the time comes, it'll cost a lot. I don't have much money at home, so it's definitely not enough. I was thinking of borrowing some money from someone, but I can't find anyone. Since you have money, why don't you borrow some money for emergencies?" Zhao Yuner was a little speechless. She didn't believe that the first branch just happened to lack money. Feng Zhui was just thinking about her money, so she purposely said this. The reason why Feng Xianxia wanted to borrow money, besides wanting to have more money for the wedding, was also because she had a small plan in mind. When she could borrow money from Zhao Yuner, she would keep delaying and not return it. When Zhao Yuner married the heir in the future, why would she care about the money she lent out? After a long time, when Zhao Yuner forgot about it, she wouldn't have to return the money. Wouldn't that be equivalent to her earning the money she borrowed for free? Eldest aunt, your family is clearly the wealthiest. How could you lack money? Zhao Yuner replied faintly. How could we not lack money? We just lack money a lot. Yuner lass, look at what you're saying, Zhao Yuner chuckled and said. Eldest aunt, I'm willing to lend money to them because they can't find other families. But your family is different. Feng Xianxia asked puzzledly. Yuner girl, tell me what's the difference? Who can our family borrow money's family's family? Eldest aunt's family's family, said Feng Yun's family. Yes? They're considered a wealthy family in town. After being exposed by Zhao Yuner, Feng Xianxia felt a little embarrassed. She continued to reply weakly, that's different. How could I have the nerve to ask for money from my in-laws? Isn't it like a poor relative coming to ask for money? Eldest aunt, I really can't bring myself to do that. Zhao Yuner snorted coldly in her heart. She was clearly so thick-skinned, but she said that she couldn't bring herself to do that. She was convinced. Eldest aunt, you're too embarrassed to ask for money from my in-laws. How could you have the nerve to ask for money from me? In any case, I'm a junior. Usually, it's the elders who lend money to the juniors. I've never heard of a junior lending money to an elder. Chapter 1843. Qian Hongzhui couldn't stand it anymore and said to Feng Xianxia, eldest sister-in-law, you're wrong. As elders, we naturally have to try our best not to trouble the younger generation. If we can avoid borrowing money, then don't. Feng Xianxia's expression didn't look too good as she said, fourth sister-in-law, you really know how to make sarcastic remarks. If your family doesn't build a house and doesn't get a wife, then of course you can't spend money. My family's Xianhu is about to get married, and we're worried that we don't have money to spend. When the time comes and the wedding isn't held in a dignified manner, it's inevitable that the in-laws will complain. Our whole family can only borrow money from Yuner. There's no other close person we can borrow money from. Zhao Yuner sneered and retorted, eldest aunt, you must be joking. How can there be no one closer than me? You can borrow money from grandfather and grandmother. You can also borrow from youngest aunt. They have more money than me. It's still possible to borrow some money casually, right? After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, the corner of Feng Xianxia's mouth twitched. If he wanted to borrow money from xuanhuan and Zhao Baoshan, then forget it. Xuanhuan was a miser. It wasn't easy to get money from her. Even if he could borrow it, it would be useless. According to xuanhuan's personality, she would never forget the money she lent. He reckoned that when his family was a little richer, xuanhuan would follow behind him and ask for money. If he didn't get any benefits, why should he go through the trouble and cause trouble? As for Zhao Xinhui, after being reminded by Zhao Yuner, Feng Xianxia felt that she could indeed give it a try. If she borrowed money from Zhao Xinhui, she probably wouldn't need to return it in the future. Even so, she couldn't fall into Zhao Yuner's hands. If she could get more benefits, wouldn't she be a fool if she didn't take it? Yuner, don't you know your grandmother's personality? She's a stingy person. How can I borrow money from her? I'd better not go and ask for a rebuff. Zhao Yuner rolled her eyes and continued, since that's the case, there's still one more person we can borrow. Who is it? Feng Xianxia blinked her eyes and asked. She couldn't think of anyone else to borrow money from, so how did Zhao Yuner know? Cousin-in-law. Zhao Yuner said with a smile, if I remember correctly, when eldest cousin-in-law married into our old Zhao's family, she brought a generous dowry. Grandma didn't ask for the dowry. Usually, eldest cousin-in-law doesn't have any expenses in our old Zhao's family, so it must be there. Now that eldest aunt's family was in urgent need of money as a daughter-in-law, she had to take out some money to meet the emergency, right? If worst comes to worst, eldest aunt can return it to eldest cousin-in-law when she has more money in the future. After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, Feng Xianxia's face immediately darkened. That little B***TCH actually made her set her sights on Shin Panner. However, after Zhao Yuner said this, no matter how thick-skinned she was, she couldn't refute it. Chen Jue also agreed from the side, eldest sister-in-law Yuner is right. Panner is your daughter-in-law. Since your family is in urgent need of money, it should be your daughter-in-law who reaches out to help first. How could it be your niece's turn? Feng Xianxia choked, but she couldn't refute it. She could only weakly agree. Since she couldn't get any benefits from Zhao Yuner, it was most likely that she couldn't borrow money. Feng Xianxia resentfully returned to her room. Zhao Yuner didn't stay in old Zhao's house for long and went back. After a few days, after discussing with young Master Zheng, the Zheng family and old Zhao's second branch began to arrange the marriage. Chapter 1844. It was Li Chuang's first time marrying off his daughter. Naturally, he couldn't bear to part with her. His heart was filled with emotions. It wasn't easy for him to raise his daughter, but she would become someone else's family after marrying off. Fortunately, his daughter wasn't marrying into a poor family. Although she wasn't the legal wife, she was still considered a master. In the future, he wouldn't have to worry about food and drink. Parents hoped that their children would be able to live a good life in the future. Li Chuang only hoped that Zhao Jing'er wouldn't be like her in the future, marrying a good-for-nothing man and suffering with him all day long. She even had to treat him like an ancestor. When they reached the town, Zhao Yun'er and Li Chuang first went to the meat stall and bought a lot of meat. They bought some chicken, duck, fish and vegetables. Compared to meat dishes, vegetables were much cheaper. 1 copper coin or 2 copper coins per caddy. The total cost didn't exceed 100 copper coins. It wasn't easy for them to go out on the street. Zhao Yun'er also bought a lot of meat. She bought a lot of meat back. Although they couldn't finish the meat, he planned to marinate some. When he wanted to eat it later, he could cut a little and fry it in the pot. It was still the busy season for farming. Every day they worked hard outside. When they came back, their meals naturally had to be prepared. There had to be enough oil. Only when they ate a lot would they have the strength to work. Zhao Yun'er originally planned to buy a pig's intestine to go with wine for her man. But when she arrived at the meat stall, she found that all the pig's intestines were gone. In the past, such a situation wouldn't have happened. People in ancient times found pigs' intestines to be too tasty. Very few people would buy pigs' intestines to eat. Not long ago, when Zhao Yun'er went out to buy meat, no one asked about pigs' intestines. They were sold out every day. Why was there no money left this time? Zhao Yun'er asked the stall owner, "Boss, why don't your meat stalls have pigs' intestines?" The stall owner smiled and explained to Zhao Yun'er, "It's like this. All the pig offal in our stalls has been ordered by one person. We can just send the pig offal we bring over to her. We might not even be able to sell it all ourselves. Besides, it stinks, so it's really troublesome." After listening to the stall owner's explanation, Zhao Yun'er frowned and asked curiously, "Boss, who is it? Who took it?" The stall owner did not hide anything and said to Zhao Yun'er, "It's a snack stall that's been popular in Yang City for the past few days. They're amazing. Even the pig offal they buy can be made into delicious food. Many people in Yang City go to the stalls to buy it. I bought some before and tried it. It's really delicious." In this day and age, there was actually someone like her who could make pig offal delicious. This made Zhao Yun'er want to know who it was. "Boss, where's the stall you were talking about?" Zhao Yun'er asked casually. The stall owner pointed in the direction for Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er realized that the direction and location of the stall resembled Zhao Ping'er's breakfast stall. Although she was a little puzzled, Zhao Yun'er still decided to take a look first. Thus, after buying the food, she walked in the direction pointed out by the stall owner with Li Chuang. After getting there, Zhao Yun'er confirmed that the beach really belonged to Zhao Ping'er. At this moment, Zhao Ping'er, xuanhuan, and Ma Xiaofeng were all busy. Because business was good, they were so busy that they could not stop. From a distance, Zhao Yun'er could smell the fragrance in the air. It was the familiar smell of stir-fried pig offal. Chapter 1845. Speaking of which, this stall's pig offal is really delicious. I've been thinking about the taste ever since I bought it last time. I took some time today to buy some more so that I can have a good meal when I get back. It's so hot these days that everything I eat every day is tasteless. However, pig offal goes really well with rice. Buy a caddy and you can have a good meal when you get back. Isn't that so? The taste is really good. I bought it too. It's a pity that I only bought a caddy last time. Everyone fought to eat it when I got back. I didn't even get to eat a few pieces. This time I'll definitely buy a few more caddies to eat my fill. It's a pity that the price is a little too expensive. A caddy of pig offal costs 20 copper coins. It's more expensive than a caddy of pork. Someone sighed at the delicious taste and felt that the price was too high. After all, there were only a few rich people. Most people wouldn't be willing to eat pig offal at such a high price. The cost of pig offal is only 1 copper coin per caddy. They've shrunk it a little. The cost of a caddy of pig offal is estimated to be 4 or 5 copper coins. Now that they're selling it for 20 copper coins, how much can they earn? You can't calculate it like that. We're spending money to buy something we like. Instead of comparing the price with meat, why don't we buy meat to eat? The main thing is that they can make pig offal into a delicious dish. If we know how to make it, we can earn this money. Besides, cleaning pig offal isn't a simple job. They're selling it for 20 copper coins, so it's worth that price. They can't possibly sell it to us at a normal price, right? Didn't you see that shop open to make money? Yes, that makes sense. Actually, 20 copper coins per caddy is enough for a big bowl and a good meal. If we take 20 copper coins to an ordinary restaurant in Yang City, it's not even enough to buy a vegetarian dish. No matter what, after they've processed it, we can eat comfortably and eat something with a strong taste, right? This is a transaction. No one forced us to buy it or not. It's all voluntary. If we want to eat it, we have to pay 20 copper coins. Anyway, I like to eat it. It's not easy to find a dish that goes well with rice on such a hot day. After the pig offal is stir-fried, it's spicy. It's very tasty even drinking it with wine. Otherwise, the stall's business wouldn't be so good. Everyone hurry up and buy it. There's only so much for a day. If you're late, you won't be able to buy it. Xiaoyuner stood behind these people. When she heard these people say that a caddy of pig's offal was sold for a high price of 20 copper coins, she couldn't help but sigh at how much money this slut earned. A caddy of pig offal, excluding the cost, would earn him at least 15 copper coins. Based on the current level of popularity, it was estimated that they would be able to sell tens to hundreds of kilograms. Chapter 1846. It's no use looking at it. Do you think you can figure out how it's done just by looking? Xiaoyuner didn't know what to say. Why were some people so unfriendly? Can't I even take a look? Su Xiaxia's lips twitched. No. You have to wait in line if you want to see it. Anyway, you're not allowed to cut in line. The people behind were also afraid that Xiaoyuner would cut in line, so they chimed in, you can't cut in line. You have to wait in line. Xiaoyuner had no choice but to follow the line. Looking at the long line, there were indeed a lot of people buying. Some people not only bought a caddy but also several caddies. Before long, the sound of closing came from Zhao Ping'er's stall. It's sold out. If you want to eat it, come back tomorrow. It's sold out today. It's sold out? Those who had yet to buy anything in the line said regretfully, it's sold out after waiting in line for so long. Gosh, my wife is pregnant and can't eat anything else. She's waiting for some pig offal to go with her meal. This is great. Brother, I also couldn't buy anything after waiting for so long. Let's come back tomorrow. Sai, we have to line up earlier tomorrow. Otherwise, we won't be able to buy anything like today. That's right. Come earlier tomorrow then. We were delayed by something today. Let's go. Those who didn't buy anything left with regrets. They all looked disappointed and sad that they didn't get to buy pig offal. Zhao Ping'er, Xuanhuan, and Ma Xiaofeng sat down by the stall and counted the copper coins they earned today. After counting, they found that they had earned a total of 1,286 copper coins. After splitting it evenly, each of them would get more than 400 copper coins, which wasn't a small amount in the countryside. They could earn several taels of silver in a month. That was to say, they could buy an acre of land with this money. Even if the villagers worked hard for a year, they wouldn't be able to earn so much. The three of them couldn't hide the smiles on their faces at the sight of so much money. Zhao Ping'er held the copper coins in her hand and pinched them. She grinned and said, I like the feeling of holding onto these copper coins. It's so good to be rich. Isn't it good to be rich? You can eat whatever you want. Ma Xiaofeng chimed in from behind. Xuanhuan was even happier than Zhao Ping'er and Ma Xiaofeng. He couldn't wait to earn some money and prove that he was no longer the poor boy he used to be. Xuanhuan said, if this goes on, won't we all become rich in a year or two? That's right, we're rich. In a year we'll probably have hundreds of taels in our hands. With so much money, you can definitely be considered a wealthy family in the village. When the time comes, we can also build big houses. And then, life will be much better in the future. As the three of them talked, they counted the money and prepared to divide it into 3 portions. Each of them received 400 copper coins. The rest of the money was kept as capital. After all, buying pig offal, oil, and salt all required money. Xuanhuan sighed and said, it's just that the amount of pig offal we buy every day is too little. If we can buy more, we can sell more. Zhao Ping'er replied, that's right, big brother Yuan. But the pig offal nearby that can be sent to us has already been sent over. The other places are too far away, so we can't buy it. Chapter 1847. As Ma Xiaofeng spoke, she reached out her hands and sniffed them. Soon after, she made a gesture of wanting to vomit. I can't smell it. Once I smell it, I feel like I can't keep my hands anymore. Ma Xiaofeng sighed. If this continues and we continue to wash pig offal for a while, won't we be able to smell this smell from far away? Then there's nothing we can do. Xiao Feng, your hands smell and so do mine. Zhao Ping said as she brought her hands in front of Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng smelled a strong stench of pig offal. Ma Xiaofeng couldn't help but frown. She asked Zhao Ping, Sister Ping, don't you wash your hands properly every time you wash pig offal? Of course I wash it. I use clean water to scrub it several times, but the smell just can't get rid of it. I can't do anything about it. Zhao Ping muttered. Sister Ping, you can't scrub it with clean water. You have to scrub it with soap. Smell it? The smell on my hands is much fainter than yours. Zhao Ping leaned over and sniffed it. She found that the smell was indeed much fainter. I think so. Xiao Feng, your hands don't seem to stink as much. They still stink. It's so tiring to wash so much every day. It's so tiring. If we sell too much, we won't be able to get rid of it. If it wasn't for my mother helping me every day, I'd probably only be able to wash a little. Xuanhuan rolled his eyes and said, if we can buy more pig offal back, we don't have to do it ourselves. We can hire someone to wash the pig offal for us and pay him a salary a day. Isn't that enough? I don't believe that no one in the village would want to do it for a salary of 30 to 40 copper coins. After being reminded by Xuanhuan, Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng felt that he was right. Washing pig offal was such a hard and tiring job that they didn't have to do it themselves. Who knew how many women in the village would be willing to do it for 30 copper coins? After all, it was not easy to earn 30 copper coins in the village. Even if a man went to work in the town, he might not even be able to earn 30 copper coins after a day of hard work. Big Brother Yuan, we don't have to wash our own pig offal in the future. Just find someone to wash it for us. Sigh, my hands are smelly from washing. I feel like vomiting just by smelling it. Xuanhuan rolled her eyes at Zhao Ping. You're just trying to slack off. Why are you talking so much? Zhao Ping grumbled, feeling wronged. Big Brother Yuan, why are you like this? I'm busy here and there every day. It's really tiring. All right. If you want to hire someone to wash your hands, then hire someone to wash them. Your hands are really smelly and disgusting. Xuanhuan frowned in disgust. After all, he still had to live with Zhao Ping. When he got close to Zhao Ping, he could smell the smell. It was indeed a little unpleasant. If he hired someone, at least Zhao Ping wouldn't have to smell him in the future. This was also good. Zhao Ping saw Xuanhuan's actions, but she thought that Xuanhuan was feeling sorry for her. She revealed a blissful expression and said to Xuanhuan, Big Brother Yuan, you're the best. Zhao Ping didn't mind saying that. She was embarrassed in front of others. She leaned her head on Xuanhuan's shoulder with a loving look. When Ma Xiaofeng saw this, she ridiculed Zhao Ping in her heart. She was a lady after all. There was no need to show off her love in public. Chapter 1848. Zhao Ping was indifferent. Instead, she giggled and said, Big Brother Yuan, little Feng is one of us. It doesn't matter. Besides, we're husband and wife. So what if we're a little intimate? What's there to be embarrassed about? Xuanhuan was a little speechless, but he was still very disgusted with Zhao Ping. Don't rub your head against my shoulder. It's so heavy. Xuanhuan said as he reached out and pushed Zhao Ping's head away. Zhao Ping looked at Xuanhuan aggrievedly. Big Brother Yuan, how can you be like this? Xuanhuan rolled his eyes. What about me? Who do you think you are? Zhao Ping saw that Xuanhuan was really about to get angry, so she responded weakly and did not continue to make a fuss. All right then, the new stall's business is pretty good. The few people who were originally happy suddenly heard a familiar voice and looked in the direction of the voice. The person they saw was Zhao Yun. The few of them were stunned as if they did not expect Zhao Yun to come over. What are you doing here? Zhao Ping asked with a hostile voice, as if she did not welcome Zhao Yun coming over. Zhao Yun chuckled. What's wrong, big sister Ping? Can't I come over? Zhao Yun, don't think that I don't know that you're definitely up to no good by coming here. Zhao Ping replied angrily. Zhao Yun rolled her eyes. Which eye of yours saw that I'm up to no good? No one can compare to you when it comes to imagination. Zhao Ping pursed her lips. Zhao Yun, then what good can you come here for? Zhao Yun sneered. I just happened to pass by your stall. I didn't expect that you guys could come back from the dead without selling breakfast. So what? Why can't we come back from the dead? Zhao Yun, who do you think you are? Without you, could it be that our stall can't continue? Luckily you stopped working with us. Now we're earning much more than selling breakfast in the past. Zhao Ping raised her chin, showing off. Zhao Yun snorted and said, Big sister Ping, you're wrong. If I didn't guess wrong, the pig's offal that you're selling now you guys learned from me? Zhao Yun, Zhao Yun, You want to get more money from me? Let me tell you there's no way. Ma Xiaofeng was also worried that Zhao Yun wanted to get a share of the money this time, so she said, Big Sister Yun, this business was started by Big Sister Ping and me. It's very hard for us to make pigs awful. Don't think about our hard-earned money. After all, you're rich too. You don't have to take a fancy to our money, right? Zhao Yun was almost disgusted by these two women. They made it sound like she was greedy for money. You guys think too much. I don't intend to take a share of your money. Zhao Yun replied faintly. Zhao Ping still stared at Zhao Yun vigilantly. She felt that Zhao Yun shouldn't be so kind. Why did Zhao Yun suddenly appear in front of her for free? However, you guys didn't ask for my permission and used my recipe to make pigs awful for profit. This really makes me unhappy. Zhao Yun sneered. Chapter 1849. Zhao Yun was almost disgusted. This B***th actually blamed her. Back then, if it weren't for Liang Jinxiao's face that they were sisters born from the same mother, she would have killed Zhao Ping long ago. How could she let Zhao Ping jump around in front of her for so long? It was a pity that Zhao Ping herself did not realize at all what she was doing time and time again. She was purposely going against her. It was the first time she met such a woman who specialized in trapping her own family. Big Sister Ping, can you speak with some conscience? Every time you didn't pick on me, how did I treat you? Zhao Yun replied unhappily. Zhao Ping glared at Zhao Yun and replied indignantly, I'll touch my conscience and say that it was you who didn't treat me well. You didn't treat me as an elder sister at all. Zhao Yun sneered, then started to calculate with Zhao Ping. Big Sister Ping, I want to know where your conscience went. Was it eaten by a dog? Back then, if it weren't for me forking out so much money to let you have a generous dowry, you wouldn't be married off at home right now, right? Although what Zhao Yun said was the truth, Zhao Ping did not want to admit it. Zhao Yun, who said that? Why wouldn't I be married off without your money? Big Brother Yuan is still willing to marry me. Big Brother Yuan, don't you think so? Zhao Ping tugged at Qin Yuan's sleeve aggrievedly. Qin Yuan's mouth twitched and he did not want to speak. This woman Zhao Ping, if it weren't for his parents eyeing her dowry and persuading him, how could he possibly marry Zhao Ping? He was not blind to marry such an ugly woman. Because of Zhao Ping's ugliness, many people in the village laughed at him. Now he only wanted to make money, a lot of money. It would be best if he could get Zhao Xinhui back. Even if he couldn't marry Zhao Xinhui, he could marry a woman as beautiful as Zhao Xinhui. As for Zhao Ping, when he had the money he would send her away. Anyway, he really couldn't stand such an ugly woman. Seeing that Qin Yuan did not say anything, Zhao Ping was a little unhappy and continued to push Qin Yuan. Big Brother Yuan, why aren't you saying anything? Zhao Yun sneered and said, I say, Sister Ping, how can you still not know your place? With your looks, which normal man would be willing to marry you? If it weren't for Qin Yuan, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to get married in this lifetime. Zhao Yun's merciless humiliation made Zhao Ping exceptionally angry. Zhao Ping was so angry that her face turned red. She rushed in front of Zhao Yun and stretched out her claws, wanting to scratch Zhao Yun's face. However, before she could get close to Zhao Yun, she was kicked heavily by Zhao Yun. Zhao Ping flew out all of a sudden, smashing the tables and chairs at the side. Zhao Ping lay on the ground and cried out in pain. She was still unwilling to give up and scolded Zhao Yun. It hurts so much. Big Brother Yuan, quickly come and help me up. It hurts so much. Zhao Ping's pleading gaze landed on Qin Yuan at the side. Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Ping speechlessly. This woman was really so stupid. Since she didn't have the ability, why did she have to go and provoke Zhao Yun? Now that she was beaten to the ground, she had to trouble him again. Big Brother Yuan. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan pitifully again. Qin Yuan was willing to greet her. Chapter 1850. After letting out a sigh, Qin Yuan walked towards Zhao Ping and pulled Zhao Ping up from the ground. Big Brother Yuan, it hurts. It really hurts. Zhao Ping said as she fell into Qin Yuan's arms. It was unknown if she was pretending to be weak or if she really could not support her body because of the pain. When Qin Yuan saw Zhao Ping coming over, he frowned in disgust and pushed Zhao Ping away. Why do you have to come so close? Qin Yuan grumbled unhappily. Zhao Ping said aggrievedly, Big Brother Yuan, I really can't stand any more. Just give me a hand. Qin Yuan snorted coldly. There was a hint of disdain in his tone as he said, How can I help you? You're so heavy. Zhao Ping'er was hurt by Qin Yuan's words. She looked at her own body. It was true that she had gained some weight. However, she had gained weight during this period of time because she was pregnant. Coupled with the fact that she ate and drank well every day, it was difficult for her not to gain weight. Big brother Yuan, I'm your wife. Don't you feel sorry for me? Qin Yuan rolled his eyes and said, can't you see that my body is so weak? You still need me to help you up. Why don't I see you feeling sorry for me? Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips. She knew better than to continue arguing with Qin Yuan. After all, she still had her greatest enemy now, and that was Zhao Yun'er. Even if she had the time and energy, she would argue with Zhao Yun'er instead of Qin Yuan. Zhao Ping'er rubbed her butt and continued to cry out in pain. She then said to Qin Yuan, Big brother Yuan, Zhao Yun'er is really too much. She kicked me so hard. Isn't she afraid that the child in my stomach will be gone? Big brother Yuan, I'm carrying your child in my stomach. You have to find Zhao Yun'er to take revenge for me and teach Zhao Yun'er a lesson. Qin Yuan glanced at Zhao Ping'er indifferently. He felt that this woman liked to push him into the fire pit. It wasn't like he didn't know Zhao Yun'er's skills. Even if he was a man compared to Zhao Yun'er, he couldn't beat Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Ping'er had asked him to smash an egg against a rock. Wasn't he obviously asking for trouble? You didn't get rid of the child? Besides, how am I a match for Zhao Yun'er? Don't harm me. Do you wish for me to be taught a lesson by Zhao Yun'er like you? Zhao Ping'er saw that she couldn't count on Qin Yuan. She glanced at Zhao Yun'er unwillingly and warned her angrily, Zhao Yun'er, don't go overboard. Don't you know in your heart who's going overboard? You? I won't argue with you. Anyway, I'm telling you that it's useless even if you're jealous of me. I won't give you a share of the money that I earned with my own abilities. Don't come looking for trouble in front of me and have ideas about the money in my hands. Now that I know the recipe for making pig's offal, it's different from making breakfast. Zhao Ping'er said and raised her chin arrogantly. Zhao Yun'er sneered. Then I hope that big sister Ping'er's business will get better and better. After saying this, Zhao Yun'er drove Xiaomao away. She had to get busy when she got back. She didn't want to waste time on Zhao Ping'er, nor did she want to be angered by that stupid woman. She had taught her a lesson by teaching her a lesson. However, just as Zhao Ping'er said, Zhao Ping'er already knew the recipe for making pig's offal. It wouldn't be easy for her to stop her. She couldn't go out on the streets and ask people to judge, right? No one would listen to her. Chapter 1851. Even after Zhao Yun'er's figure disappeared into the distance, Zhao Ping'er was still immersed in her anger and couldn't respond. Originally, it was a happy thing to make money happily. In the end, Zhao Yun'er came to her door and made a fuss. Her original joy was thrown to the back of her mind, and a kind of worry attacked her heart. Ma Xiaofeng knew Zhao Yun'er's methods very well. She was very clear that Zhao Yun'er was not someone to be trifled with. Thinking of the words Zhao Yun'er said before she left, Ma Xiaofeng was even more worried. If Zhao Yun'er did something and ruined the breakfast stall's business, then how could she make a living in the future? Anyway, she couldn't think of any other way to make money now. If she didn't sell breakfast, she would have to rely on selling pig offal. It wasn't easy to come back from the dead. This pig offal also relied on Zhao Yun'er. Fortunately, she had asked Zhao Ping'er to learn more at that time. Otherwise, how would she know how to make it? How could she make money now? Ma Xiaofeng's worry was written on her face. She sighed and said to Zhao Ping'er, Ping'er sister, what should we do now? If Sister Yun'er does something, our stall can't continue? Zhao Ping'er said angrily, she'll do it. Who does she think she is? She can't cover the sky with one hand. We set up a stall to make money and do proper things. What can she do to us? Ma Xiaofeng continued to look and said angrily, Sister Yun'er, I think Sister Yun'er is angry. Sister Ping'er, we can't win against her even once. Why don't we say a few good words? Maybe Sister Yun'er won't make things difficult for us. Don't say anything nice to him. Xiaofeng, it's useless for me to tell you that. She just can't bear to see me earning money and living a good life. I don't know what that bitch is thinking. But Ping'er sis, I feel a little uneasy. It's not easy for us to earn some money through this. What if we can't earn it for long? That won't happen, Xiaofeng. Zhao Ping'er patted Ma Xiaofeng's shoulder and comforted her. Zhao Yun'er is not omnipotent and can do anything. This time, I don't believe that she can deal with us. Seeing Zhao Ping'er's attitude, Ma Xiaofeng was too lazy to say anything more. She sighed and secretly prayed that nothing bad would happen. Zhao Yun'er and Li Chuiying drove Xiaomao back to Shuilan village. The car went directly to Old Zhao's house. After all, it was the second branch's wedding. Old Zhao's house was very lively, and xuanhuan was in a rare good mood. The reason why his face was not as gloomy as usual was that xuanhuan received a lot of good things from young Master Zheng. Moreover, Zhao Jing'er was going to marry into a rich family. Later on, Zhao Jing'er might give birth to a fat son and establish a foothold in a rich family. In the future he could get other benefits from Zhao Jing'er. Xuanhuan naturally put on a good face for people who had a rich future. The banquet was held at old Zhao's house. The other branches were all there and they took the initiative to help where they could. Originally, Feng Xianxia was not a very enthusiastic person, but this time she also took the initiative to help. Thinking that in a few days her family's Xianhu would also be holding a wedding. If she helped the second branch now, Li Chuanying would definitely help her later. If there were too many things to do, it would be impossible to handle without a few people. Zhao Yuner had to prepare some of the dishes early in the afternoon, just like when her family held the banquet. Chapter 1852. The afternoon passed by quickly. Zhao Yuner had already finished preparing the dishes in the kitchen. However, the wok in the kitchen was too small. It was possible for the family to make do with cooking, but it was impossible to cook too many dishes. Zhao Yuner then discussed with Li Chuanying, "Second aunt, you go and ask grandma. Ask her if she can borrow her kitchen when she cooks tomorrow." Li Chuanying asked in confusion, "Yuner, what's wrong? Is my kitchen not good enough?" Zhao Yuner shook her head, "It's not very good. The wok in the kitchen is too small. You can't cook many dishes in one wok. It's more convenient to cook with a bigger wok." Li Chuanying agreed, "Okay, I'll go talk to your grandmother now. It shouldn't be a problem to borrow a wok. After all, your grandmother won't be able to use the kitchen for the banquet tomorrow." Okay. Zhao Yuner thought that it shouldn't be a problem. However, when Li Chuanying went to ask, he saw xuanhuan's shameless side. "Second daughter-in-law, I can lend you the kitchen, but it's a joyous occasion after all. You should at least give me a red packet. You can't use the kitchen for free, right?" Li Chuanying asked nervously, "Mother, how much should I give you?" Xuanhuan rolled her eyes and said, "It said that everything goes smoothly. I think you should give me 6 taels of silver." Li Chuanying originally thought that if it didn't cost much, she could accept it. However, after hearing Xuanhuan say 6 taels of silver, Li Chuanying couldn't remain calm. 6 taels of silver wasn't a small amount. It was enough to buy a mu of land. It was just borrowing the kitchen. How could it cost so much? Zhao Yuner stretched her ears to listen and secretly cursed Xuanhuan for being too shameless. It was as if he had fallen into a money pit, thinking about money all day long. He did not know why Xuanhuan wanted so much money. He wouldn't be able to live for many years, so he couldn't possibly bring the money he had saved up to his grave, right? Li Chuanying awkwardly tugged at the corner of his mouth and said, "Mother, isn't 6 taels of silver a bit too much?" When Xuanhuan heard this, she was very unhappy and replied, "How is 6 taels of silver too much? Second daughter-in-law, young Master Zheng has sent a lot of money as betrothal gifts, right? You're so tight on 6 taels of silver, isn't it because you don't want to be filial to me?" Li Chuanying quickly shook his head. "Mother, that's not what I meant. Although young Master Zheng did send a lot of betrothal gifts over, his family still had to live on in the future. She was going to send her son, Tianyu, to school. Only when he went to school could he be successful. Otherwise, he could only stay in the countryside for the rest of his life. However, going to school was not a small expense. Over the years, old Zhao's family had spent a lot of money to support Zhao Tianlong. In addition, she was going to buy more land. Relying on the land at home, the amount of food they could grow each year was only enough to eat. It was almost impossible to save money. In the future, if she wanted to be prosperous and build a new house like her second sister-in-law and third sister-in-law's family, she had to plan more and earn more money each year. Xuanhuan glared at Li Chuanying and continued to scold him, "If that's not what you meant, then what do you mean? Second daughter-in-law, now that you're so stingy with money and unwilling to be filial to your in-laws, you won't be able to covet the things in your hands in the future." Chapter 1853. Last time, Xuanhuan had no choice but to make some food for the second branch. Now Xuanhuan liked to talk about it. "Mother, we didn't eat much. It was just a few meals. How could it be worth 6 taels? Wasn't this clearly cheating her?" Xuanhuan put her hands on her hips and raised her head. "Second daughter-in-law, I'm telling you, if you don't give me 6 taels of silver in a red packet, I won't lend you the kitchen." Li Chuanying looked embarrassed. She had no choice but to lend the kitchen. If she did, she would have to fork out 6 taels of silver. She was reluctant to do so. Seeing this, Zhao Yuner stepped forward and said sarcastically, "Grandmother, I think your family's pot is made of gold. You have to give me 6 taels of silver to borrow it. If you want to rob me, just say it. Xuanhuan felt a headache coming on when she saw Zhao Yun'er. This little B*TCH was actually strolling in front of her again, picking on her and finding fault with her. Thus, she glared at Zhao Yun'er and said, "You B*TCH, what are you talking about? What does my business have to do with you?" Zhao Yun'er laughed. "It really has nothing to do with me, but I just don't like some people." "What are you talking about? Do you still see me as your elder? Don't call yourself an elder. You don't have any respect for your elders. Don't you know what you're doing? It's a happy occasion at home, and you need 6 taels of silver in a red packet to borrow the kitchen. Only a fool would give you the money." After Zhao Yun'er finished mocking Xuanhuan, she tugged at Li Chuang's hand and said, "Second aunt, I think we should forget about it. We don't need to borrow the kitchen." Li Chuang frowned and asked with a conflicted expression, "Yun'er, can we not lend it to you? Didn't you say that the pot is too small?" Zhao Yun'er smiled. "The pot is indeed small, but it's okay. I'll ask my father to take the pot from my house and put it on your stove tomorrow." Li Chuang nodded and said, "Okay, Yun'er girl, I'll listen to you. If you say so." Yes. She felt that it was not worth it to let Xuanhuan get 6 taels of silver for a kitchen. It wasn't easy for the second branch to protect that little bit of money. There would be many places where they would have to spend money in the future. Xuanhuan was dissatisfied with Zhao Yun'er when she saw that her source of income was cut off because of Zhao Yun'er. Unfortunately, she couldn't deal with Zhao Yun'er. Every time she fought with Zhao Yun'er, she suffered. No matter how unhappy she was, she could only weakly suppress it in her heart. Xuanhuan was so angry that she didn't want to look at Zhao Yun'er anymore. She turned around and went into the room. "AI." Li Chuang shook her head helplessly. Unfortunately, Xuanhuan was her mother-in-law. She couldn't do anything about it. xianxia was also dissatisfied with Xuanhuan. Li Chuang asked Xuanhuan to give her a red packet of 6 taels of silver this time. If she went to borrow money later, wouldn't Xuanhuan also ask her to give her a red packet of 6 taels of silver? Her family didn't have that much money. Even if they did, they wouldn't waste the money to give her 6 taels of silver for a kitchen. When Zhao Yun'er and Li Chuang came over, Xuanhuan leaned in front of Li Chuang and complained, "Second sister-in-law, mother is so stingy. Isn't it just a kitchen? How big of a deal is it? She still wants to get money from you. How can a mother be like this?" Li Chuang said helplessly, "AI, what should we do with eldest sister-in-law? We can't fight with mother. What mother says is the truth." Chapter 1854. When xianxia said this, she glanced at Zhao Yun'er and then said seemingly unintentionally, "Yun'er girl, can you lend your family's pot to eldest aunt later? Otherwise, you won't be able to cook with my family's pot." Zhao Yun'er responded faintly. Why did she feel uncomfortable when she heard xianxia's words? She always felt that this woman was scheming something and was thinking about someone else. Although it wasn't a big deal to use a pot as an excuse, it felt a little different when it came from xianxia's mouth. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er agreed, xianxia's worries were erased and she continued to chat with Zhao Yun'er and Li Chuang. After a while, xianxia looked at Zhao Yun'er with some embarrassment and asked, "Yun'er girl, will your family's donkey still be used in 2 days? How about you lend it to my family again? Your second cousin brother needs to buy a wedding house. In a few days I want to go to town to buy some things." Zhao Yun'er unhappily replied, "Eldest aunt, why do you always want to borrow other people's things? Can't you just take the ox cart to buy some things? Do you have to like my family's xiaomao to be happy?" xianxia said very awkwardly to Zhao Yun'er and weakly explained, "Yun'er girl, isn't it too troublesome to take the ox cart? When the time comes, there will be a lot of things to buy and moving around. It's really inconvenient. Of course, you can use your family's xiaomao to directly pull it to the courtyard." Zhao Yun'er didn't believe xianxia's nonsense. She just wanted to use her family's xiaomao for free. It was really unbearable to take advantage of her time and time again. "You can borrow it, but the rules are the same as before. Eldest aunt, you have to pay. A round trip is 50 copper coins. If you don't want to do it, you can charter your own ox cart." xianxia calculated. It would be 60 copper coins to charter an ox cart for a round trip. It was definitely more cost-effective to borrow xiaomao. It was good to save even 1 copper coin. xianxia was still somewhat unreconciled. "I say, Yun'er girl, I heard that His Majesty bestowed you with a lot of gold, silver and jewels. You said you're different from before. You're already so rich, why are you still thinking about my 50 copper coins? Why don't we just forget about it?" Zhao Yun'er sneered, "Auntie, what are you talking about? Who doesn't like having more money? In the past I was afraid of being poor, so now I feel that even a penny is good. Feng Xianxia shut her mouth resentfully. So be it if he had to spend 50 copper coins. There were a lot of things to buy, so it was impossible for him to take an ox cart. Zhao Yuner and the others continued to work and only finished when it was close to evening. After that, the whole family went back for dinner. The next morning they had to wake up early, so Zhao Yuner went to bed early. Mu Lianfeng took care of Tian Tian for the whole day. It was undeniable that Mu Lianfeng was becoming more and more like a super stay-at-home dad. He was a grown man, but he took good care of the child. Of course, Tian Tian was well-behaved and obedient. She didn't know if it was because she had experienced too much since she was a child, but she was already very sensible when she was only 1 or 2 months old. When she came back in the evening, Zhao Yuner felt her heart settle down when she saw Tian Tian's tender face and smelled the milky fragrance on Tian Tian's body. She didn't know if it was because she was tired from the day, but Zhao Yuner quickly fell asleep. The next morning, Zhao Yuner climbed out of bed before the sun shone into the room. Chapter 1855. Fortunately, she had Liang Jinxiao, Feng Xianxia, and Qian Zhuzhao to take care of the chores. The 3 sisters-in-law were able to do a lot of chores. With the help of other people, although it was busy, it was not unbearably busy. After all, it was Li Chuiying's big day, and Li Chuiying was marrying off her daughter. Zhao Yuner did not let Li Chuiying help. Li Chuiying was a little embarrassed and threw the chores at home to other people. She was very reluctant to let her daughter get married, so she tried her best to spend as much time with her daughter as possible. In 2 or 4 hours, young Master Zhang's wedding procession would probably arrive. After the procession, her daughter would belong to someone else's family. No matter how much she missed her, she would not like her daughter more than a few times a year. Liang Jinxiao could understand Li Chuiying's current state of mind the most. When Zhao Ping'er got married, she was very sad. Although Zhao Ping'er was not a good daughter and often angered her, she was still her own daughter. When she got married and found out that she belonged to someone else's family, she was very reluctant to let her daughter go. Third sister-in-law, it's not like you're marrying off your daughter. Why do you look so reluctant? Feng Xianxia saw Liang Jinxiao's reaction and could not help but tease her. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, I just thought that when my Ping'er got married, I also felt a little sad. I guess second sister-in-law feels the same way now. Sister-in-law, you didn't give birth to a daughter, so you don't understand that feeling. Feng Xianxia continued to smile and said, Third sister-in-law, look at what you're saying. What's so sad about Ping'er getting married? It's a good thing that such an ugly daughter can get married. Don't tell me you still want her to stay in our old Zhao family for the rest of her life? Liang Jinxiao's mouth twitched. Sister-in-law, you can't say that. Although I was looking forward to Ping'er getting married at that time, I raised her up. But after raising her for so long, Ping'er got married, so I still feel a little sad. Feng Xianxia chuckled and said, Third sister-in-law, you feel uncomfortable when Ping'er gets married. If Yuner also gets married one day, won't you be even more reluctant to part with her? Speaking of this, Liang Jinxiao's gaze fell on Zhao Yuner, who was sitting at the side. Her sister-in-law was right. Zhao Yuner was the child she was most satisfied with. Not to mention waiting until the day of her marriage, just thinking about it made her feel a little sad. However, the emperor's imperial edict had been issued. As long as Mu Lianfeng wanted to hold the wedding, he could hold it at any time. The things that the emperor bestowed were Zhao Yuner's dowry. When the time came for her to get married, it would be a grand wedding. Look, third sister-in-law, I'm just saying that I'm going, but you really feel sad. Feng Xianxia covered her mouth and laughed. Liang Jinxiao sighed. Of course I feel sad. Sister-in-law, if you have a daughter, you will understand. I don't have third sister-in-law. You are blessed with a son and a daughter. You also have a promising daughter like Yuner. Speaking of Yuner, third sister-in-law, Yuner and Lord Shizhi have been together for so long. When will they get married? Liang Jinxiao shook his head. I don't know. I have to ask Yuner. Feng Xianxia's gaze fell on Zhao Yuner. She pretended to be concerned and asked Zhao Yuner, Yuner, your marriage with Lord Shizhi should be held soon, right? It's not a good thing to drag it on. The sooner it's done, the sooner our old Zhao family can benefit from it and become Lord Shizhi's in-laws. Chapter 1856. Zhao Yuner's attitude made Feng Xianxia a little unhappy and she said with a sour tone, I say Yuner girl, could it be that Shizhi doesn't intend to marry you? If this man really wants to marry a woman, he doesn't need to drag it out for so long, right? Zhao Yuner rolled her eyes at Feng Xianxia. Eldest aunt, don't worry about it. You can't change anything with just a few words. Shiziyi and I have already been married by the emperor. Unless Shiziyi wants to die, he won't have the guts to not marry me. Only then did Feng Xianxia shut her mouth. She had also heard that the emperor had bestowed Zhao Yun'er with so many things, and she was extremely envious. Unfortunately, in this lifetime, it would be difficult for her to reach the height of Zhao Yun'er's family. The only one she could rely on was her family's Tianlong. When her Tianlong passed the imperial examinations, he would be able to become an official and lead the first branch to live a good life. Although he wouldn't be as rich as Shiziye's family, he would still be able to live a prosperous life. The few of them continued to busy themselves, and the sound of cooking came from the kitchen. At around 10 o'clock in the morning, young Master Zheng came to pick them up. However, very few people came, only 2 sedan bearers and young Master Zheng. Young Master Zheng sat on the horse and didn't even wear his wedding clothes. It seemed that he didn't care much about this marriage. However, it was understandable. After all, Zhao Yun'er was only marrying over as a concubine, and not as a legal wife. Naturally, they wouldn't care too much about it. However, in the eyes of others, it had a different meaning, and they treated Zhao Yun'er as a joke. Look, this old Zhao's family is marrying off their daughter as a concubine, and they don't even like her. Only these few people came, haha. You expect a concubine to be liked? She's not presentable in the first place. Don't tell me you expect them to muster so many people to come and pick her up? That's true. It seems that she has to be a legal wife when she marries. At least she can be presentable, but a concubine is still not enough. Many people in the village mocked old Zhao's family. Other than feeling that it was indeed too shabby, the most important thing was that she was too jealous of old Zhao's family. During this period of time, all the happy events in the village were occupied by old Zhao's family. His daughter was getting married, and there was also a banquet for building a house. Which banquet wasn't a good thing? There were 2 girls in old Zhao's family, one was Zhao Xinhui and the other was Zhao Jing'er. Although they were both concubines, at least they had married into rich families. In the future, they wouldn't have to worry about food and drink. This was something that many people couldn't hope for. The fact that young Master Zheng came over so easily was somewhat beyond the expectations of old Zhao's family. Zhao Baoshan and Zhao Wenshui's expressions were somewhat unsightly. Especially when he heard the villagers' words, he was so angry that he trembled. Unfortunately, they couldn't blame young Master Zheng. They already knew that Zhao Jing'er was going to be a concubine, so they couldn't ask for too much. Otherwise they would offend young Master Zheng. Seeing that the bridal escort had come over, Zhao Xinhui and xuanhuan, who were originally in the room, came out to take a look. Seeing those people come over, xuanhuan said with some displeasure, "What does this young Master Zheng mean? Aren't these people deliberately embarrassing our old Zhao's family?" Zhao Xinhui replied indifferently, "Mother Jing'er is just going to be a concubine. It's good enough that they brought a bridal sedan chair. What else do you want them to do?" Chapter 1857. Xuanhuan thought back and felt proud. Back then, her daughter's marriage was a rare event in several villages. So many people envied her. Her daughter had married a rich man and even married in such a grand manner. Thinking about her current life, if her daughter hadn't married well, how could she be so carefree? In this day and age, one had to be rich. Without money, everything was useless. Zhao Xinhui snorted and said, "Mother, can Jing'er compare to me? My husband dotes on me very much. Jing'er is only marrying him to give birth to children." Xuanhuan nodded in agreement and said, "That's true. Jing'er can't compare to you. My Hui-er can't compare to anyone." Zhao Xinhui curled her lips. "Of course. So mother, don't blame young Master Zheng. It's already good enough that he can get a sedan chair. Do you really expect him to come up with something? Many concubines directly enter the manor without any arrangements at all." Yes. You're right." Xuanhua giggled in agreement. As if suddenly thinking of something, Xuanhua leaned in front of Zhao Xinhui and asked, You've been at home for a while. Why hasn't young Master Huang sent anyone to pick you up?" Zhao Xinhui's expression immediately became displeased at the mention of this topic. "How would I know? I also want to ask. Mother, do you dislike me and think that I've been at home for too long and want to chase me away?" Xuanhua hurriedly smiled and said, Don't be angry. Who wants to chase you away? Mother didn't mean it that way. I just feel that our life at home definitely can't compare to young Master Huang's manor. If you go back early, you can enjoy life earlier, right? Compared to the Huang manor, life in the countryside is like heaven and earth, right?" Zhao Xinhui nodded when she heard this. Her mother was right on this point. Life in the Huang manor was simply too happy. Every day there would be someone to serve her for everything. Not only that, but she could also eat and drink well. The food and desserts in the Huang residence were all prepared by special chefs. How could the countryside compare? Zhao Xinhui wanted to return to the Huang mansion more and more when he thought of the enjoyment he enjoyed during that period of time. She wanted to go back as soon as possible, but the strange thing was that young Master Huang still hadn't come to pick her up. Her husband obviously doted on her so much. Could it be that he didn't miss her after being separated for such a long time? Her husband hadn't settled the troubles at home yet. If this continued, how long would she have to wait? If she continued to stay at home, she would probably be bored to death. She didn't think so in the past, but after enjoying a rich life, she couldn't bear to live in poverty again. Mother, aren't you talking nonsense? How can our family compare to the Huang estate? Zhao Xinhui retorted angrily. Xuanhuan smiled embarrassedly again. You can't keep waiting like this. In Mother's opinion, you should take the initiative to ask young Master Huang. She had mentioned this matter the last time, but Zhao Xinhui didn't take it to heart and didn't go to Yang City to look for young Master Huang. Now that she mentioned it again, she hoped that Zhao Xinhui would listen to her. Although she was old, she still understood some things. Chapter 1858. With young Master Huang's status, he was considered a respectable figure. Because he was rich, he could find any woman he wanted. Without young Master Huang, her daughter couldn't live with her for the rest of her life. She could only live a good life with young Master Huang. Mother, I know. Zhao Xinhui replied impatiently. Xuanhuan didn't dare to say more, for fear of making Zhao Xinhui unhappy. Zhao Yun'er and the other three sisters-in-law of old Zhao's family all stopped what they were doing and watched young Master Zheng receive the bride. Seeing such a shabby wedding procession, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but feel sad for Zhao Jing'er. She was different from others. Regardless of whether she was rich or poor, she hoped that the man she lived with for the rest of her life would be loyal to her. In other words, she would only accept one wife and one husband. She wouldn't share a man with another woman. Zhao Jing'er was obviously disliked as a concubine. She was just a tool to give birth to children. She didn't know how much she would suffer in the future. Unfortunately, everyone chose their own path. They should consider the consequences before making a choice. No matter how painful it was, they had to bear it until the end. As for her wedding with Mu Lianfeng, she could postpone it, but it had to be grand. She had to let everyone know that she was Mu Lianfeng's wife. Other women couldn't covet her man. The groom is here, the groom is here. Bride, get ready to come out of the room. Someone shouted. After a while, Li Chuiying helped Zhao Jing'er out of the room. Seeing that her daughter was really getting married this time, Li Chuiying wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. The tears that she couldn't hold back suddenly gushed out. After hearing Li Chuiying's crying, Zhao Jing'er tugged at Li Chuiying's hand. Mother, don't cry. I'll try to come back to see you often. Yes, second brother's wife, don't cry. Today is a joyous day. It's bad luck to cry. Zhao Baoshan comforted her. You're still so reluctant to let your daughter get married. What's there to be reluctant about? My daughter will have a good life after she marries him. Zhao Wenshui muttered beside Li Chuiying, without the slightest reluctance of a father. In Zhao Wenshui's opinion, they would only be able to live a good life if Zhao Jing'er really married into young Master Zheng's family. Zhao Wenshui hoped that Zhao Jing'er would send more good things back to her parents' home. That way he wouldn't have to move his hands or feet. He wouldn't even have to farm, but he would still have good wine to drink and meat to eat. How comfortable would that be? Li Chuiying glared at Zhao Wenshui with dissatisfaction. He felt that Zhao Wenshui was heartless. His daughter would belong to another family after she got married. How could she say something like that? Although she was angry, she couldn't quarrel with Zhao Wenshui on such a joyous day. She just silently kept this matter in her heart and would slowly settle old scores with Zhao Wenshui in the future. Okay, don't dawdle. Young Master Zheng is here to pick her up. Second brother's wife, let Jing'er go. Zhao Baoshan urged. Now that young Master Zheng had only brought so few people over, the longer they stayed, the more people would see them. Old Zhao's family would become a bigger joke. Li Chuiying answered weakly. She held Zhao Jing'er's hand reluctantly and said, Jing-er, no matter how much I miss you, you're going to get married. Chapter 1859. Zhao Jing'er replied in a choked voice, Mother, I know. You and father have to take good care of yourselves. Zhao Wenshui smiled and said, Don't worry, Jing'er. Just marry well. If father and mother run out of money, we'll ask you for it. After Zhao Wenshui said that, Li Chuiying couldn't help but stomp on Zhao Wenshui's foot. My daughter is getting married. What are you talking about? Zhao Wenshui also replied unwillingly, What am I talking about? Am I not telling the truth? I just want Jinger to know that she has to save money when she marries into a rich family just like her aunt. Look at how comfortable Jinger's grandparents are living. It's all thanks to her aunt. Li Chuan was so angry at Zhao Wenshui that he couldn't speak. He was a lazy man who didn't know how to go out and earn money. As a man, he didn't have the responsibility that a man should have. He actually hoped to get money from his daughter to enjoy life. His conscience had been eaten by a dog. Father, you don't have to tell me. I know that I won't let mother live a hard life. Zhao Jinger replied in a somewhat cold voice. She was also a bit disappointed by Zhao Wenshui's words, but only towards Zhao Wenshui. When she married into young Master Zhao's family and really had money in hand, he would let her mother live a good life. She wouldn't care how her father lived. Zhao Wenshui replied with gratification. He Jinger, you really are father's good daughter. Whether or not father can live a good life for the rest of his life depends on you. Li Chuang secretly scolded Zhao Wenshui for being shameless, but he was afraid that saying it in front of Zhao Jinger would make her more sad and delay her marriage. So he took Zhao Jinger's hand and said, Okay, let's go. Mother will send you to the sedan chair. Okay, Zhao Jinger replied. Soon Zhao Jinger was sent to the sedan. Young Master Zheng didn't stay long at old Zhao's house. To him, he was just here to pick up someone and go through the formalities. He didn't want to have too much to do with old Zhao's family. After all, Zhao Jin was just a concubine that he had married. She was not an important person. It was almost 11 o'clock when the wedding procession left. Many people were waiting in old Zhao's yard for the banquet to begin. Knowing that Zhao Yuner would be the chef again, many people were looking forward to this banquet. She treated the gift money she gave to old Zhao's second branch as spending some money on a big meal. After all, they couldn't afford to eat such good food in the town's restaurants. Li Chuang sent Zhao Jinger off and wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. She put away the reluctance and sadness in her heart and went to the kitchen to continue helping. She was afraid that a few people wouldn't be enough, so it was always good to help as much as possible. Yuner girl, is the banquet about to start? Zhao Baoshan went into the kitchen and asked Zhao Yuner. If Zhao Yuner said the banquet was about to start, he would go set off the firecrackers. Zhao Yuner nodded in response. It's ready? Okay. Zhao Baoshan said and went out of the kitchen to send Zhao Wenshui out with the firecrackers. This was the second branch's big day. Something like setting off firecrackers naturally had to be done by Zhao Wenshui to celebrate. However, Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Baoshan with a bitter face. Father, do I have to set off the firecrackers? Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Wenshui. If you don't set them off, who do you expect to set them off? Are you expecting this old man to help you? Chapter 1860. Zhao Baoshan replied angrily, Do your own thing. Why do you expect me to help you with such a small matter? After being scolded by Zhao Baoshan, Zhao Wenshui responded weakly. It was impossible to count on his father. Sigh. His father was really stingy. Wasn't it just setting off firecrackers? What was the big deal? When Zhao Wenshui saw Zhao Wentao walking towards him, he ran up to Zhao Wentao and said, Fourth brother, can I ask you for a favor? Zhao Wentao frowned. He was cautious and didn't immediately agree before Zhao Wenshui said what he needed help with. Second brother, what do you want me to help with? Tell me first. Zhao Wenshui smiled embarrassedly and said, Fourth brother, it's not a big deal. I just want to set off some firecrackers. When Zhao Wentao heard this, he felt that setting off firecrackers was indeed not a big deal. However, he looked at Zhao Wenshui in confusion and said, Second brother, isn't it just setting off firecrackers? Why do you want me to set them off? Why don't you set them off yourself? Zhao Wenshui didn't know how to answer Zhao Wentao's question for a while. Zhao Baoshan snorted coldly and said, Second brother, you've reached a new level of laziness, haven't you? You even let your fourth brother set off firecrackers. What else can you do with your long arms and legs? I think it's better to chop them up. There's no use keeping them. Zhao Wenshui pouted, feeling wronged. He explained to Zhao Baoshan, Father, it's not because I'm lazy that I don't want to release them. Then why do you think it's because? Zhao Baoshan asked angrily. Father, I'm afraid of firecrackers. After Zhao Wenshui said this, Zhao Wentao and Zhao Baoshan were both stunned. Afraid of firecrackers? Second brother, it can't be. Are you afraid of firecrackers? Lao Air, your excuse for being lazy is really good. You're a big man and you're saying that you're afraid of firecrackers? Zhao Baoshan scolded again. Zhao Wentao also felt that it was inconceivable. His second brother was a grown man. How could he be afraid of firecrackers? Even children who were a few years old were not afraid of them. Perhaps it was really as Zhao Baoshan had said. This was the reason why Zhao Wenshui was lazy. Zhao Wenshui replied aggrievedly, "Father, I'm telling the truth. I wasn't afraid of those firecrackers from afar, but once I got close I was scared to death. Please do me a favor and help me set them off." Zhao Baoshan kicked Zhao Wenshui's butt. "You're a man. Don't embarrass yourself in front of me. Hurry up and release it. Don't count on others." Zhao Wenshui staggered and almost fell to the ground. Fortunately they were in the house. If someone saw this outside they would laugh at him. Zhao Wenshui steadied himself and turned around. When he saw Zhao Baoshan's gloomy and uncertain face, he knew that it was impossible to trouble Zhao Baoshan. With Zhao Baoshan around, there was no way he could ask Zhao Wentao to help him. Zhao Wenshui glanced at the soaked firecrackers on the ground and felt a trace of fear in his heart. Unfortunately, he had no choice but to carry the firecrackers outside and set them off. With every step he took outside he felt like he was facing death calmly. What's wrong with second uncle? Why does his face look so ferocious? Zhao Yun looked out of the wooden shed. When she caught a glimpse of Zhao Wenshui's expression, she only felt that it was very funny. Chapter 1861. Liang Jinxiao also took a look and found it very strange. He shook his head and replied to Zhao Yuner, "I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with your second uncle." Then Liang Jinxiao's gaze fell on Li Chuang and he said to Li Chuang, "Second sister-in-law, is second brother feeling unwell?" Li Chuang glanced at Zhao Wenshui indifferently. He was still angry about what had happened just now. She was too lazy to pay attention to Zhao Wenshui now, so she said to Liang Jinxiao, "Third sister-in-law, don't worry about him. He will be fine. He won't die." Liang Jinxiao could tell that Li Chuang's expression was not right. He thought that Li Chuang was still very sad about marrying his daughter today, so he did not say anything else. Zhao Yuner's gaze followed Zhao Wenshui. She had a feeling that her eccentric second uncle would do something funny. Sure enough, he really saw it. Zhao Wenshui carried the firecracker to an open space, took out a fire starter, and put his trembling hands on the fire starter. However, before he could light it, he jumped away as if he was very scared. He closed his eyes tightly and covered his ears with his hands. He looked very funny. After a while, Zhao Wenshui seemed to feel that something was wrong. He looked at the firecracker he had placed and found that the cannon was not lit at all. It was motionless. He sighed resentfully and continued to endure the fear in his heart. He took out the fire starter and put it in front of the firecracker again. Zhao Yuner finally understood that her second uncle was afraid of the firecracker. It was really funny. Even a 3-year-old child was not afraid of it. Her second uncle was so old, but he was afraid of it? The other sisters-in-law in the kitchen also understood. Feng Xianxia could not help but hold her stomach and laugh. She also wanted to make fun of Li Chuang. Second sister-in-law, second brother is really funny. Look at how scared he is of the firecracker. Li Chuang did not reply. His expression darkened. It was obvious that Li Chuang was feeling uncomfortable. Feng Xianxia continued to laugh. "You can't find a man who is more cowardly than second brother in this area. Aha, it's fine if he is afraid of other things, but he is afraid of firecrackers. My Yang is not afraid. Second sister-in-law, you are so pitiful to have married such a man." Feng Xianxia's ridicule, in Zhao Yuner's view, was adding insult to injury. Instead, she continued to observe Zhao Wenshui's firecracker. Zhao Wenshui was definitely a top eccentric. He went back and forth 4 or 5 times, but he still did not light the firecracker. At this time, in the courtyard of old Zhao's house, the people who came to attend the banquet saw this. They all covered their mouths and snickered as they discussed Zhao Wenshui's behavior. Zhao Baoshan originally thought that Zhao Wenshui was just joking. Now that he saw Zhao Wenshui's actions, he was so angry that fire almost came out of his nostrils. He was angry and scolded, "This second brother is really shameless. Our old Zhao family's face was almost completely ruined by him." Zhao Wenshui happened to walk to Zhao Baoshan's side. He followed Zhao Baoshan and said, "That's right, father. Second brother is really a coward. Don't blame others for laughing at him." Zhao Baoshan did not want to see Zhao Wenshui continue to embarrass himself. He nudged Zhao Wenshui beside him and said, "Boss, go and help light the firecracker. If it can't be lit, the villagers will probably laugh their heads off." Chapter 1862. Of course, the most important thing was that he had helped Zhao Wenshui set off the firecrackers. In any case, he had done Zhao Wenshui a huge favor. It would be fine after the banquet. He could ask the second branch for more wine and food. Zhao Wenshui ran to Zhao Wenshui and taunted Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, you're even more timid than a little rabbit, aren't you? You're actually this scared of a firecracker?" Zhao Wenshui replied pitifully, "Big brother, I'm not afraid of other things. I'm just scared of this thing. What can I do?" Zhao Wenshui then said to Zhao Wenshui, Okay. I'll set it off for you." Zhao Wenshui blinked his eyes in surprise. "Big brother, is what you said true? Are you really going to set it off for me?" Zhao Wenshui raised his chin. "Of course. It's a piece of cake. But second brother, let's make a deal. You have to give me more wine to drink later." Zhao Wenshui agreed without hesitation. "Big brother, as long as you help me set off as much wine as you want." He had gone back and forth a few times now. His heart had long broken down. If he continued setting it off, he probably wouldn't be able to light it up. With Zhao Wenshui's promise, Zhao Wenshui was relieved. "Okay. Here, give me the fire starter." Zhao Wenshui handed the fire starter to Zhao Wenshui. When Zhao Wenshui reached out to light the fire starter, Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, "Big brother, wait a minute." "What's wrong?" Zhao Wenshui replied in confusion. "Big brother, you have to wait until I'm far away before you set it off." Zhao Wenshui said weakly. He still looked very scared. I know. Zhang Wenshui was speechless. After Zhao Wenshui ran back into the house, Zhao Wenshui reached out to light the firecrackers. In the kitchen, Feng Xianxia proudly said to Li Chuang, "Second sister-in-law, look at how cowardly your man is. My Tianlong's father is the best. He's not afraid of the firecrackers at all." Li Chuang sighed. She was already numb to Feng Xianxia's scolding. In her heart, Zhao Wenshui was indeed not a good man. Now she despised him even more. It was a pity that she had a hard life. She had married such a person in this lifetime and there was no way to change it. Zhao Wenshui lit the fire with a match in his hand. In order to show that he was brave, Zhao Wenshui did not run away immediately. However, an accident happened at this time. The ignited firecracker suddenly exploded with a bang, causing sparks to fly everywhere. Fortunately, the firecrackers were held far away, and the villagers were not splashed by the sparks. However, Zhao Wenshui, who was only 1 meter away from the firecrackers, was in a miserable state. There were several holes in his clothes from the explosion. Especially his buttocks, where his pants were completely torn apart. His buttocks and thighs were injured and a lot of blood was oozing out. Everyone in old Zhao's courtyard was stunned. They had never encountered such a situation where firecrackers were set off. After everyone was stunned for a few seconds, they heard Zhao Wenshui's miserable scream. "Ah, it hurts so much. It hurts so much." Feng Xianxia, who was in the kitchen, was the first to run out. She shouted, "Tianlong's father, are you okay? Tianlong's father." Zhao Baoshan was stunned by the explosion of the firecrackers. What was going on? Boss was injured by the explosion? Were firecrackers that dangerous? Zhao Wenshui, who was next to Zhao Baoshan, patted his chest and sighed in relief. If Zhao Wenshui did not replace him, he would be the one who was hit by the firecrackers. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's clothes were torn apart and bleeding, Zhao Wenshui was scared witless. Chapter 1863. Zhao Wenshui said weakly to Zhao Baoshan, "Dad, look, I'm not afraid of the firecrackers for no reason. Previously, when I saw the firecrackers in the town, I remembered what had happened when I saw the firecrackers. Big brother was really injured by the firecrackers this time." Zhao Baoshan's expression was solemn, and the corners of his mouth trembled. He didn't expect Zhao Wenshui to be injured by the firecrackers. Thinking of how he reprimanded his second son, it seemed that he was the one in the wrong. "Dad, let's go and see big brother." Zhao Wentao's expression was also solemn, afraid that something would happen to Zhao Wenshui. They all walked towards Zhao Wenshui. Feng Xianxia rushed to Zhao Wenshui and found that Zhao Wenshui's body was covered with wounds, and he looked very miserable. "Oh, Qianlong's father, how did you end up like this? You have to hold on, don't let anything happen to you." Feng Xianxia cried and shouted. For women in ancient times, men were their sky, and women without men couldn't live their lives. It hurt so much. Zhao Wenshui was in so much pain that he almost cried. Not only was it painful, but the clothes on his buttocks were also torn open by the explosion, and it was exposed outside. Old Zhao's courtyard was used by so many people and many people probably saw it. Who knew how they would laugh at him when he returned. Zhao Baoshan and the others also rushed to Zhao Wenshui's side and saw that Zhao Wenshui's injuries were indeed quite serious. Zhao Baoshan ordered Zhao Wentao, who was beside him, "Fourth brother, quickly go and call Dr. Sun over for Big Brother to take a look. Big Brother's injuries need to be properly bandaged." Feng Xianxia wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and quickly responded, "Yes, yes, fourth brother, quickly go and help your big brother find a doctor." Then she turned to Zhao Wenshi and said to Zhao Wenshi, "Tianlong's father, you have to hold on. Fourth brother, go and find Dr. Sun now. Sister-in-law, don't be too anxious. Although Big Brother's injuries are a little serious, he definitely won't die. These are all external injuries and internal injuries are difficult to treat." Zhao Wenshui comforted Feng Xianxia. He felt a little guilty. After all, if his big brother didn't help him light the firecrackers, he wouldn't have been injured so badly. After Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Wenshui. His tone was filled with displeasure. "Second brother, do you even know how to speak? If you don't, then shut up." He Baoshan's disdainful of Zhao's father. He Baoshan's father's father didn't even comforting people's as his father's disdained comforting him. Feng Xianxia was also a little unhappy and said to Zhao Wushui, "Second brother, my family's Tianlong's father was injured so badly because he helped you set off the firecrackers. Do you still have any conscience?" Zhao Wenshui curled his lips in grievance and said, "Sister-in-law, how am I without a conscience? Seeing Big Brother like this, I also feel distressed. No one knew that this would really happen. If you knew, Big Brother definitely wouldn't have helped me light the firecrackers." Feng Xianxia snorted coldly, "Humph, second brother, let me be frank. Today your big brother was injured because he helped you light the firecrackers. Later you have to compensate your big brother well. Later you have to pay for Dr. Sun's medical fees. Later when your big brother recuperates you have to pay for some tonics. Otherwise I won't let you off." Chapter 1864. Feng Xianxia's expression became a little better, but she was still a little unhappy when she saw Zhao Wenshui's face. Her man was injured, so he definitely wouldn't be able to work during this period. He had to recuperate at home. However, it was the busy season now, so the rice in the field had to be tended. Without Zhao Wenshi it was impossible. However, he didn't think about this for the time being. If he really didn't have anyone to help him at that time, he would continue to rely on Zhao Wenshui. Anyway, Zhao Wenshi was injured because he helped Zhao Wenshui set off the firecrackers. Zhao Wenshui had to be responsible for everything in his family. Zhao Baoshan said calmly, "Okay, don't say so much. Hurry up and help the boss into the house to rest. He can't keep lying on the ground." "Okay, Dad." Feng Xianxia and Zhao Wenshui both responded and helped Zhao Wenshi up from the ground. Zhao Wenshi continued to cry out in pain, "Dad, it really hurts so much. My flesh is about to explode." Although Zhao Baoshan felt a little sorry for Zhao Wenshi, he still snorted coldly and replied to Zhao Wenshi, Okay, a man is injured. Can't you bear with it? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at by others when you keep crying out in pain?" "That. I can't stand the pain anymore." Zhao Wenshi replied weakly. "Hurry up and go back to the house." Zhao Baoshan urged again with a serious face. Just now, he had heard the villagers' discussion. Originally, today's joke was already big enough, but in the end, this happened again. Zhao Wenshui and Feng Xianxia each supported Zhao Wenshi and finally helped Zhao Wenshi back to the house. After a while, Zhao Wentao brought Dr. Sun over. Seeing so many people in old Zhao's house, Dr. Sun was reluctant. After the incident between him and Ma Xiaofeng, he didn't want to go out and meet people. Because of this, he would often be scolded by others when he went out. He was already so old, how could he withstand the ridicule of others? He felt a little embarrassed, so he hid from the crowd. Now that old Zhao's family was holding a wedding and his wife was the one who came to drink, he hid in his room and didn't come. When Zhao Wentao came looking for him, he refused at first. Later, he couldn't win against Zhao Wentao. After all, it was a human life. If something happened, he would feel guilty. Thus, he overcame his psychological barrier and followed Zhao Wentao to old Zhao's house. He didn't expect to meet everyone's gazes as soon as he arrived. It was very uncomfortable being stared at. Dr. Sun hurriedly carried the medicine box and walked into the room in the lobby. "Dr. Sun, can you help me take a look at my husband?" Feng Qingxia saw Dr. Sun come in and quickly greeted Dr. Sunday. Only then did Dr. Sun approach the bed and check the injuries on Zhao Wenshi's body. "They're all superficial wounds. It's not a big deal. He'll be fine after applying some ointment. However, if he comes into contact with water within half a month, it will be serious if he doesn't get pus," Dr. Sun instructed. Feng Xianxia hurriedly nodded in response. It was good that it wasn't a big deal. If something really happened, how could a woman like her support a family? After Dr. Sun finished speaking, he took out the medicine from the medicine box and handed it to Feng Xianxia. It's a total of 800 copper coins. Dr. Sun directly reported the price. Okay, Dr. Sun. After Feng Xianxia took the ointment, she greeted Zhao Wenshui. Second brother, why are you still in a daze? Hurry up and get the money for Dr. Sunday. Do you expect me to give you 800 copper coins? Chapter 1865. With that, Zhao Wenshui left the room and ran towards the kitchen. As soon as he got to the kitchen, he yelled at Li Chuanying, "Hurry up and give me 1 tael of silver." Li Chuanying was slightly stunned and asked in confusion, "Jinger's father, why do you want 1 tael of silver?" Li Chuanying just thought it was strange, so he asked casually. However, Zhao Wenshui felt uncomfortable when he heard this. He felt that it was very embarrassing for a man like him to be asked such questions when he was looking for a wife to get some money. He then said to Li Chuanying unhappily, "Why do you like to nag and ask so many questions? I asked you to give me the money, so give me the money. Why are you talking so much nonsense?" Zhao Wenshui's attitude made Li Chuanying feel a little disappointed. Now he couldn't even ask about it. How badly did this man treat her? "Jinger's father, I just asked casually. We don't spend money on wine at home." Li Chuanying replied weakly. Zhao Wenshui's temper suddenly flared up. He waved his fist at Li Chuanying. "I think you're itching for a beating, aren't you? How dare you talk to your man like that? You're like this because I treat you too well." Li Chuanying's body was hit by Zhao Wenshui's fist, and he let out a painful groan. Zhao Yun couldn't stand it anymore. Zhao Wenshui was really disgusting. It was fine if he was tough to others, but he was always showing off in front of his wife. In front of others he was a coward. Zhao Yun immediately pulled Li Chuanying behind her and stood in front of Li Chuanying. She said coldly to Zhao Wenshui, "Second uncle, you're really capable. You actually hit your wife. I don't know how shameless you are." Zhao Wenshui glared at Zhao Yun. You damn girl, get out of my way. What does it have to do with you that I'm teaching my daughter-in-law a lesson? Although it has nothing to do with me, I like to interfere when I see something that I don't like." Zhao Yun said and kicked Zhao Wenshui hard. Then, Zhao Wenshui was seen flying through the air in an arc, falling far away. Even the chair was smashed down. Zhao Wenshui, on the other hand, let out a series of pig-like howls. Murder, murder. Everyone stared at Zhao Wenshui. Not only did they have no intention of helping, but they also burst into laughter. A man was actually beaten up like this by a woman. He was really useless. If it was in the past, Li Chuanying would have jumped over when he saw Zhao Wenshui suffer such a serious injury. Now that he saw Zhao Wenshui rolling on the ground in pain, Li Chuanying didn't have the slightest sympathy. His eyes were still cold. Instead, he felt that Zhao Wenshui deserved it. If he didn't teach this kind of man a lesson, should he be kept alive for the new year? Hearing the commotion outside, Zhao Baoshan came out of the room to ask. Zhao Yun only explained faintly. When he saw Zhao Wenshui on the ground, Zhao Baoshan secretly shook his head. This second uncle wasn't a good person either. Second uncle's wife, this money is for your eldest brother's medical expenses. Second uncle came to get it from you? Zhao Baoshan explained. After hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Li Chuanying finally understood. Zhao Wenshui was injured because he helped their family set off the firecrackers. It was understandable that they had to pay for his medical expenses. Chapter 1866. Zhao Baoshan responded. After a while, Li Chuanying took out 1 tael of silver and handed it to Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan took it and instructed Li Chuanying to continue working. Although Zhao Wenshui was injured, the banquet still had to be held. As for Zhao Wenshui's side, Zhao Baoshan walked to Zhao Wenshui and kicked Zhao Wenshui's body heavily. "Useless thing, hurry up and get up. You only know how to make a fool of yourself." Zhao Wenshui was already injured. Now that he was kicked by Zhao Baoshan, the pain was even worse. "Father, I'm in pain. I can't get up." Zhao Wenshui mumbled. "If you can't get up, then sleep on the ground. Don't get up today." "Father." Zhao Wenshui felt wronged and wondered if he was really Zhao Baoshan's biological son. Otherwise, why would Zhao Baoshan dislike him so much? Although it hurt, it wasn't to the extent that he couldn't get up. Zhao Wenshui propped himself up with some difficulty and followed Zhao Baoshan's footsteps. When they reached the house, Zhao Baoshan handed the tael of silver given by Li Chuanying to Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sun took out 200 copper coins from the medicine box. After getting the change, he took the medicine box and was about to leave. Zhao Baoshan called out to Dr. Sun, "Dr. Sun, why don't you stay for a banquet? It's just in time for lunch. It's troublesome for you to go back and cook. Why don't you eat here? One more person won't make a difference." Zhao Baoshan knew that Zhao Baoshan's wife came to Dr. Sun's house today, so Dr. Sun didn't have anything to eat. Therefore he kindly said this. Dr. Sun shook his head. No, I'd better go home. For the sake of this meal, she would feel uncomfortable being stared at by so many people. Dr. Sun, you don't have to be so polite. It's just a banquet. Zhao Baoshan tried to persuade him again. Dr. Sun still shook his head. Old man Zhao, I appreciate your kindness, but I'll pass on the banquet. Since Dr. Sun had said so, Zhao Baoshan didn't continue to force him to stay. Alright then. Dr. Sun, please be careful on the road. Alright. After Dr. Sun left, Zhao Wenshir's injuries were treated. The kitchen continued to be busy preparing for the banquet. This banquet was quite interesting to watch. So many things had happened. Li Chuanying's mood was affected the most. Seeing Li Chuanying's sadness, Liang Jinxiao patted Li Chuanying's shoulder and said, "Second sister-in-law, don't be sad. You have to live well. Things will get better in the future." Well, thank you, third sister-in-law. Li Chuanying had a faint smile on the corner of her mouth. Although it was indeed hard to live with Zhao Wenshui, not everyone around her was a bad person. Zhao Yun'er's family was good. They often helped her. The women were extremely busy in the kitchen. Fortunately, the banquet was finally over. Although the second branch's banquet wasn't as sumptuous as the third branch's, it was considered very good in the village. While Zhao Yun'er was busy, she was worried about Mu Lianfeng's situation at home. With Tian around, Mu Lianfeng definitely couldn't leave. She had to make some food and send it to Mu Lianfeng. After the banquet, it wasn't too late. The meal time was only about an hour later than usual. Chapter 1867. Meanwhile, in the courtyard of Zhao Yun'er's house, Mu Lianfeng sat under the shade of a tree, holding Tian in his arms. Tian was very well behaved, otherwise, it would be difficult for a man like him to torment her. Now that it was time for dinner, his stomach began to rumble and he was a little hungry. But because he had to take care of Tian, he couldn't find anything for himself to eat. Moreover, he had to feed Tian milk. Zhao Yun'er had finished preparing the goat milk and told him to do so. Only then did he bring the goat milk out and feed Tian bit by bit. Seeing Tian eating so happily, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but swallow a few mouthfuls of saliva. "You little doll, I think you're doing it on purpose, right? You know that I'm hungry, so you're eating so happily. Are you trying to make me starve to death?" Mu Lianfeng nagged at the little doll in his arms, but his tone was full of affection. Tian blinked at Mu Lianfeng, and her appearance was so cute that it could melt a person. "Little girl, you're really good at pretending to be wronged. Don't think that you can act cute." Tian's eyes turned, and then she bloomed a sweet smile at Mu Lianfeng. Acting cute and smiling, Mu Lianfeng had to admit that he had been seduced by a little doll liar. Looking at Tian's delicate pink face, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but start to daydream. He didn't know what Tian would be like when she grew up. She would probably be very cute. A gentle and graceful woman was a gentleman's dream. When the time came, Tian would definitely be pursued by many boys. As a father, he had to check carefully and choose a good husband for Tian in the future. After being stunned for a moment, Mu Lianfeng continued to feed Tian in his arms with a spoon. As he fed, he said to Tian, "Little girl, grow up quickly. When you grow teeth, you won't need to drink milk anymore. When the time comes, your mother will make meat for you to eat." Hearing the mention of meat, Tian's eyes lit up as if she was looking forward to it. Not far away, a slender figure suddenly walked over. It was a young girl wearing a pink dress. Coupled with her delicate face, she looked youthful and beautiful. Mu Lianfeng had seen this girl before. He also knew her name, Ma Xiaofeng. Last time, when his clothes were hooked by the thorns, it was this girl who helped him untie it. However, he had no feelings for Ma Xiaofeng. Thinking that Zhao Yun'er seemed to hate her, she didn't have a good impression of Ma Xiaofeng. Now Ma Xiaofeng was walking towards Zhao Yun'er's new home. What was she going to do? While Mu Lianfeng was thinking, Ma Xiaofeng had already arrived at Zhao Yun'er's courtyard. As soon as Ma Xiaofeng saw Mu Lianfeng sitting under the shade of a tree, his long black hair fluttering in the breeze, his luxurious clothes and his handsome face, her heart couldn't help but beat faster. Such a fine man, any woman who saw him would blush and have their hearts beat faster, and they would admire him. The reason why she came to Zhao Yun'er's house today was that she knew that Zhao Yun'er was helping the second branch to hold a banquet. The rest of Zhao Yun'er's family also went to help or drink wine. Thinking that Mu Lianfeng might be the only one at home, Ma Xiaofeng made up her mind to come over and take a look. She didn't expect to be so lucky it really was him. Usually because Zhao Yun'er was there, she didn't find a chance to be alone with Mu Lianfeng. Without contact, how could Mu Lianfeng understand her? How could feelings develop over time? So she had to find an opportunity for herself. Chapter 1868. Ma Xiaofeng suppressed the anxiety in her heart and put on her best performance. There was a smile on her face that she thought was beautiful as she walked towards Mu Lianfeng with a swaying gait. When Mu Lianfeng saw Ma Xiaofeng walking over, Mu Lianfeng was disgusted by her bashful and pretentious manner. When Ma Xiaofeng was in front of him, Mu Lianfeng asked indifferently, "May I know why you're here?" Ma Xiaofeng stroked her long hair and smiled gently. "Lord Heir, I'm here to look for Tianan. Is Tianan home?" So she was here to look for Zhao Tianan? Although he didn't know why Ma Xiaofeng was looking for Zhao Tianan, Mu Lianfeng still replied, "He's not home. If you're looking for him, go to old Zhao's house. He's having a banquet now." Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly responded, "I understand, Lord Heir. Thank you for telling me." Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently, "You're welcome." With that, Mu Lianfeng stopped looking at Ma Xiaofeng and lowered his head to feed Tian Tian. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip indignantly. She had specially dressed up today and looked very delicate and pretty. Why didn't Mu Lianfeng spare her a glance? She had spent a lot of money to buy this brand new dress so that she could wear it for Mu Lianfeng. "Lord Heir." Ma Xiaofeng called out softly. Mu Lianfeng frowned and asked in a slightly displeased tone, "Miss, is there anything else about this matter?" The disdain and coldness in Mu Lianfeng's eyes made Ma Xiaofeng sad. However, her morale wasn't so easily shaken. She tugged at the corner of her lips and continued to smile at Mu Lianfeng. "Lord Heir, how can someone of your status take care of such a baby? You haven't eaten yet, right? Are you hungry? Do you want me to take care of her for you?" Meeting Ma Xiaofeng's eyes, Mu Lianfeng fell into deep thought. This girl's enthusiasm was a little too much. Mu Lianfeng rejected her flatly. "No need. I appreciate your kindness. But, what? I don't know what you mean. Just say what you want to say." Mu Lianfeng's words made Ma Xiaofeng's face flushed red. Actually, he had already hinted strongly enough. Unfortunately, Mu Lianfeng pretended not to hear him and completely ignored him. What should she do if this went on? There was no progress between her and Mu Lianfeng. "Lord Heir. I wonder what kind of girl Lord Heir likes." Ma Xiaofeng mustered up her courage to ask. Mu Lianfeng's brows knitted tightly together. If he didn't understand earlier, he completely understood now. This girl wasn't here to look for Zhao Tianan. She was clearly here to throw herself at him. There was no choice. With his face and his status as the Lord Heir, there were many girls who threw themselves at him. However, before meeting Zhao Yun'er, he had always avoided women. It wasn't until he met Zhao Yun'er that he realized that he could also fall in love with a woman. As for other women, he couldn't arouse any interest and didn't want to arouse any interest. If Ma Xiaofeng wanted to provoke him, she would probably be disappointed. Chapter 1869. Ma Xiaofeng blushed at Mu Lianfeng's words. She had imagined many scenarios, but she did not expect that Mu Lianfeng would say such things to her. When she met Mu Lianfeng's eyes again, she saw the disgust in Mu Lianfeng's eyes, as if she was something filthy. "Lord Heir, I'm not a vain woman." Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip and muttered to Mu Lianfeng unwillingly. She stared at Mu Lianfeng nervously, afraid that Mu Lianfeng would dislike her again. Mu Lianfeng sneered, "Isn't that so? Then tell me, why did you come to seduce me?" Mu Lianfeng was very straightforward, directly saying that Ma Xiaofeng seduced him. These blatant words made Ma Xiaofeng even more unbearable. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip in grievance and looked at Mu Lianfeng affectionately. "Lord Heir, I didn't come because of your status and wealth. I simply admire you. Lord Heir, as long as it's a girl, she will fall head over heels for a person like you. I'm no exception. Even if you're not Lord Heir, I will still admire you." Ma Xiaofeng's words meant that she liked Mu Lianfeng and admired Mu Lianfeng purely because of Mu Lianfeng. Since that was the case, she naturally could not be considered a vain woman. Mu Lianfeng's lips curved into a sarcastic smile. "Even if that's the case, your character is really unflattering." Ma Xiaofeng did not understand Mu Lianfeng's words and could not help but ask, "Lord Heir, why do you say that?" Mu Lianfeng said coldly, "You know the relationship between Yun'er and I, yet you still want to interfere. Don't you think it's shameful to poach someone?" Ma Xiaofeng was slightly stunned and her face swelled to the color of a pig's liver. She had suffered such humiliation in the past. If it was someone else she would have scolded back, but it had to be Lord Air. In order to save her image in Mu Lianfeng's heart, Ma Xiaofeng explained, "Lord Air, I know that you and Sister Yun'er have a very good relationship, but I admire you very much. Lord Air, it's normal for someone of your status to have multiple wives and concubines. You can't be with only Sister Yun'er. Xiaofeng is not greedy for anything else. I just want to stay by Lord Air's side, even if I don't have any status." After Ma Xiaofeng finished speaking, she was very much looking forward to Mu Lianfeng's reply. However, Mu Lianfeng's reply once again hurt her heart. "Miss, you must be joking. I don't have any feelings for you. What does it have to do with me that you like me? Why should I let you stay by my side?" This kind of merciless rejection made Ma Xiaofeng's face hurt. "Lord Air, aren't you going to get lost? Do you have to disgust me in front of me to make you happy?" Mu Lianfeng urged her in disgust. Ma Xiaofeng was unusually embarrassed. Although she was not reconciled, she still left dejectedly. It was not easy for a girl to put down her face, but she had to suffer such treatment. It was really too sad. Watching Ma Xiaofeng's figure leave Zhao Yun'er's courtyard, Mu Lianfeng withdrew the coldness in his eyes. Mu Lianfeng was very disgusted by the woman who wandered around in front of him. Chapter 1870. Mu Lianfeng didn't continue to think about it. As long as Ma Xiaofeng didn't shamelessly refuse to leave, it was fine. Mu Lianfeng put away the emotions in his eyes and continued to feed Tian, who was in his arms with the spoon in his hand. The toddler was probably enjoying it. Zhao Yun'er, on the other hand, walked back with a vegetable basket in her hand. She actually bumped into Ma Xiaofeng on the way. This road led to her house. Usually no one would pass by. Only her family and Mulan would pass by. Could it be that Ma Xiaofeng went to her house? Although she was puzzled, Zhao Yun'er didn't ask. After all, her relationship with Ma Xiaofeng wasn't good now. She didn't want to talk to this woman. When the two of them brushed past each other, Ma Xiaofeng raised her head and glanced at Zhao Yun'er. There was a flash of panic in her eyes. At the same time, Zhao Yun'er noticed that Ma Xiaofeng's eyes were a little red. She seemed to have cried. What was going on? Before Zhao Yun'er could say anything, Ma Xiaofeng quickened her pace and ran away. Seeing the figure running away in a panic, as if she was very scared and nervous, Zhao Yun'er frowned again. She increasingly felt that there was something wrong with Ma Xiaofeng. Judging from her posture, she must have come from her house. She was dressed to the nines and was even wearing a brand new pink dress. Suddenly Zhao Yun'er thought of something. A ball of fire lit up in her heart. This be asterisk, did she go to her house to look for Mu Lianfeng? She was smart. She knew that he went to old Zhao's house to hold a banquet and wasn't at home. So she took advantage of the time to come and look for Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun'er didn't need to think to know what she was up to. However, judging from the situation, Ma Xiaofeng did not succeed. She didn't know what Mu Lianfeng had done to make Ma Xiaofeng cry. Interesting. Zhao Yun'er didn't think too much about it. She carried the basket and continued to walk up the mountain. Finally, she returned to her courtyard. At this time, Mu Lianfeng was sitting under the shade of a tree, holding Tian in his arms and patiently feeding the goat milk. The contrast between the big and small figures was unusually warm. And Mu Lianfeng was becoming more and more like a super stay-at-home dad. Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun'er called out with a smile. Mu Lianfeng looked up and saw Zhao Yun'er's beautiful figure. Clearly, Zhao Yun'er was only wearing a coarse garment. It couldn't be compared to Ma Xiaofeng's pink dress. Zhao Yun'er was older in age, but when he looked at Zhao Yun'er, he felt that Zhao Yun'er had a special temperament. This temperament was very charming and attracted him. And when he saw Zhao Yun'er's gaze, his mood also brightened. "Yun'er, it's time to eat." Zhao Yun'er carried a lunchbox in her hand and waved it in front of Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a faint smile. "Okay, I'm hungry now." Zhao Yun'er opened the lunchbox and placed the dishes in front of Mu Lianfeng. Although there were only 3 dishes, Mu Lianfeng ate them all by himself. In order to let Mu Lianfeng eat, did she? Zhao Yun'er took Tian from Mu Lianfeng's hands. After drinking milk, Tian fell asleep in a short while. Zhao Yun'er carried the child back to the house to rest. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was eating, Zhao Yun'er held her face as if she was thinking about something. Mu Lianfeng put down his bowl and chopsticks and couldn't help but ask, Yuner, what's wrong? Yuner seemed a little strange. Zhao Yuner came back to her senses and tugged at the corner of her mouth. Nothing. You're tuning in to the Sword Dance in the Vast Sky YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.